So welcome back to our live stream, the West End T20 Cup Grand Final here at the Adelaide Oval. A bit of rain about, but we're going to get things underway. T20 Gully taking on Adelaide University. The Gullies have had a great run in this competition in the last 6 years. They've won 4 of the games, the title, and Uni. They haven't won this one for a while, so the umpire's just heading out, Eloise Sheridan and Bruce Stribley. We'll hear more from Ben Hook shortly about Eloise, who is umpiring her first men's final. T20 Gully blokes heading out onto the ground, and they're captained by Patrick Page, wearing shirt number 44. Experienced line up the Gullies. Uni, plenty of interstate types and overseas players in their team. So, University win the toss and batting first. T20 Gully in the field. Ben Hook's back with me. Hookie, how do you see this game shaping up? Should be a ripper with the weather permitting.
I'm looking forward to it, and I can't get off the fence here, Laurie. I just see this as an absolute 50-50 game. I think we've got an extra element of intrigue with the weather. We can see it rolling in. It's very light, sort of drizzly shower, just drifting across the ground at the moment. Whether that has any effect on a delay in play or even the tactics of the two sides, with the potential for a brief stoppage as a result of the weather, it remains to be seen. But really looking forward to this game. You'd probably have to say that in the overall scheme of things, University a slight favourite, but T20 Gully, of course, have been traditionally a very, very good white ball team, and we're looking forward to seeing how they perform over the course of the afternoon, Laurie Colliver.
So Adelaide Uni won the toss, elected to bat. Number 4 for T20 Gully is Ben Hutchison, who's going to open the bowling for the Bulls. 9 wickets this season, including 4 in the semi-final down at the Bay. And they had a good win in that semi-final, the Gullies, winning by 30 runs. It was a tight semi-final victory for Adelaide Uni over Port Adelaide. 8 for 172, defeated 9 for 167. So a little bit of light rain falling. We're hoping to get through the game. We think it's the same as Big Bash. 5 overs will get a game, but let's hope we don't have to get to that point. So Ben Joaquim and Michael Burgess opening the batting for Uni.
That it is, and interestingly enough, the umpire who will oversee the first delivery of this game, bowled by Hutchison, is Eloise Sheridan. And Eloise, first year umpiring A-grade cricket. She did her first grade game in October, I think. And she becomes the first ever female umpire in Australia to oversee a men's premier game. As Hutchison comes in and bowls to Joaquim, and he'll pick up one straight away, running that one down to third man.
Yep, great for Eloise. Good luck to her and also Bruce Stribley. Good start for Joaquim, getting that one away down to third man. Goes at a strike rate of 151 in this format. 584 runs this season for Uni across the 3 different competitions.
I think he had most of them in about the first 3 games of the year too, Laurie. He went 100, 100, 100 very, very early on in the year.
Got 76 in the opening game of this competition off just 34 balls, 3 sixes in that innings, but it's Burgess in strike.
Faces Hutchison, and he's swinging hard and lustily straight away. It's through to the wicketkeeper. It was short, it was wide. He looked to hit that out over long on. Failed to connect, but makes his intentions pretty clear, Laurie.
Yeah, these boys like to have a crack. Burgess strike rate this season, 163 in 2020. 72 off 39 in the semi with 6 sixes. He's hit 13 sixes in the West End T20 this season. And a test for Hutchison bowling from the river or city end.
With a deep square leg and a deep third man. The rest in the circle. And this one he looks to pull, but he won't beat mid-on again. Fielding there done at mid-on by Sean Noddle.
And a bit of news through. If we do get an interruption and it is a no result, the team finishing higher is declared the winner of the competition. So by my judgment, that would be Uni. But of course, we want to get through this game. And Ben Hutchison has been bowling his 4 overs straight so far in this T20.
He's with Burgess now. And this is slung high out over third man. It could be... Oh, I reckon he got a hand to it, the third man fielder. It would have been an amazing catch. Did get fingertips to it. Managed to knock it down, protect the boundary, ran 2.
Yeah, Josh Macy, the young off-spinner for the Gullies down there, had to make a lot of ground to his left. Did well, got the left juke there, just couldn't hang on. And a couple of runs there for Michael Burgess, the Sussex player. He's looking to really get after the bowlers early here. None for 3 in the opening over.
So Hutchison again is at the top of his mark. He's past umpire Sheridan. He's with Burgess now. And this has fallen. It's hit high. And there's a big catching opportunity. It's Noddle who's under it, and he holds it. So the first wicket falls for University. Burgess is gone. It's 1 for 3. Hutchison gets the wicket. Noddle does the catching.
So that one went very, very high, straight up in the air. Good start for Hutchison. And the catch taken at mid-on. Took a long time to come down. And well held there. And Tim Davey, who normally keeps for the Gullies, has done over the years. He's got Sean Noddle in the book, but we think it's Tim Davey.
He's got Sean Noddle's shirt on.
He must have not washed his gear from the last game. But a good catch, and Burgess out for just the 2. Let's have a look at it again. Straight up in the air. Good line and length from Hutchison, pretty full. And the former West Torrens player has a wicket in his first over. 4 for in the semi. And Uni under the pump early, 1 for 3.
Yeah, boy, out of Murray Bridge, strikes early, so massive wicket claiming Burgess out of playing with Sussex under Jason Gillespie, I think, this year, Laurie.
Yep.
So a massive wicket early for T20 Gully, 1 for 3.
So 1 ball to go in the opening over. Good start for Ben Hutchison. 10 wickets now in this competition this season. Of course, the Gullies, they've won 5 of these T20 tournaments over the years, 4 of the last 6. Very consistent side against Uni, who've got a pretty good looking side in today, unbeaten in this competition. So last ball of the opening over.
The boy from Murray Bridge, he's charging in from the Riverbank end, and this one's turned out to the leg side. There'll be 1 run here, and just the 1. It's the fielding out there on the boundary done by Brad Evans. So at the end of the first over, successful 1 for Hutchison. Adelaide University, after 1 over, 1 for 5.
So there's a look at the board. 1 for 4. So Uni there versus T20 Gully. Big final here for West End. Live stream coverage via saka.com.au. And a good start for the Gully. Sean Noddle with his slow left armers is going to start up from the far end. 6.56 is his economy rate this season in the games. He's had some good games. 2 for 17 against Northern Districts and 2 for 12 in the semi. He's also got 7 wickets this season. New batter for Uni is Phil Salt, another Sussex player, and I know Jason Gillespie will be keeping a close eye on this game today. As we mentioned, he's going to coach Sussex this season in the county competition. But it's going to be Joaquim on strike. Nottle's going to bowl his left armers from around the wicket, and a packed offside field with all 5 fielders inside the circle.
I know the stock market's dropped a bit in the last few weeks, Laurie, but Jason Gillespie's stocks would be up, wouldn't they, after the Adelaide Strikers' victory?
He'd be a very happy man.
So Noddle to begin the second over of the Adelaide University innings. He's bowling to Salt, and this is full and darted into about middle and leg, and Salt tries to drive it through the offside, can't beat mid-off. Into his work again pretty quickly. Here's Noddle. Full of ball, driven, won't beat cover. Excellent bit of fielding out there by Josh Macy. Could have taken catch of the year if he had have held on to that one down at third man in the previous over. Noddle again. Darts this one in. Driven by Salt, but brilliantly fielded in his follow-through by Noddle. Excellent piece of work getting across to his right quickly.
We saw Lauren Najauki take a beauty earlier in the day.
Didn't she? Faster ball, and Salt pulls it out to the man sweeping just in front of square on the leg side. Pick up 1 run, move to 1 for 5. Yes, for those of you who just joined us, on the back of a very good bowling spell by Laura Najauki and a wonderful catch, West Torrens have claimed the statewide Super Women's T20 South Australian Cricket Association title, and now we're in the opening overs of the West End Men's T20 competition. Grand final between Adelaide University and T3 Gully. Noddle, boy from out Galway, Trinity College student. So it's driven back down the pitch by Joaquim. He'll pick up one run.
So we've just had confirmation 2, 5 overs for a game. And it was actually Salt facing his first delivery to get off the mark. Joaquim in strike now. 3 off 7, so good tight stuff from the Gully bowlers here so far.
So pushes that one through once again. Joaquim it was looking to work that one into the leg side off the sweep. Couldn't get bat on ball, and that's the end of the over. So a good over from young Sean Noddle. Just the one run from it. Adelaide Uni, 1 for 6 after 2.
Yeah, 4 dot balls, just the 2 singles from the over. Joaquim on 3, Salt on 1. So Hutchison doing the job with the ball, but he's going to be replaced, I fancy, by Brad Evans here, the experienced campaigner. He's played in most of those T20 grand final victories that the Gullies have had in the last decade or so. So far this season, 6 wickets, an economy rate of 6.59, and did a good job in the semi-hooky. 3 overs, 1 for 14. So very experienced player, and big hitter of the ball too. Likes to give it a whack when he goes out to bat. So we'll see what the plan is here. Slip in place for him, and he's going to bowl the 3rd over of this game. Still a bit of rain about, but we just need 5 overs for a game, Hookie. So if they get through 5 in this innings, we're well on our way to having a proper official game without a no result.
Evans is with Salt, and he's turned that straight to the guy, deep square leg, and it's out. What a massive wicket. It was flicked off the pads. Salt smashed it straight out to the man at deep square leg. It was probably going to carry and reach the boundary. It was Hutchison who took the catch. It was a fine catch from him. He moved in, judged it, shuffled back a little bit, caught it in front of his eyes, and the second Adelaide University wicket to fall, Laurie Colliver, they're 2 for 6.
Well, Hutchison in the game. First ball from Brad Evans, hit out into the deep, and a bit of luck just going their way, the Gullies, with only 2 men allowed out in the circle in the first 6 overs. Saw the catch go straight down the fielder's throat. It was beautifully judged by Benny Hutchison. It was hit nicely by Salt and well judged, and it would have probably gone close to going for 6. Had a little look out, but Hutchison holds onto it. 4 wickets in the semi, got a wicket in the first over, and the wicket falls. So Uni off to a bit of a poor start here in the 3rd over, 2 for 6, and well done to Brad Evans.
Yeah, first ball wasn't his best delivery. Was angled in towards leg stump, perhaps just heading down the leg side. Phil Salt got a good piece of it, but just picked the man out at deep square leg. It was well caught by Hutchison, and all of a sudden, Adelaide University problems at 2 for 6 in the 3rd over here.
Sam Kerber, the new batsman, wearing shirt number 20, so a slight change in the batting order. We were told it might be James McCollum batting at number 4, but they've crossed, so it's going to be Joaquim on strike to Brad Evans.
He's with him now, and this one again is down the leg side, and it'll be no, not a wide. Eloise Sheridan happy enough with that one. Maybe took a little bit of pad on the way through, but Brad Evans probably lucky to get away with that one.
Nice bit of keeping by Jack Holliday there too. Of course, Tim Evans has been the long-standing keeper for the Gullies over many years, and Holliday quickly down the leg side, scooping that with the left hand.
Well bowled by Evans this time. Accurate, as Joaquim just forward and defending. So 2 wickets falling in the first 13 deliveries, and we saw in the early game today that Kensington lost a spate of early wickets and just never scored enough runs. It's going to be important for these two to at least work their way through the power play. As Evans bowls again to Joaquim, and he's driving this hard but won't beat the man at point.
Yeah, Tim Evans there at cover point. Having a good year for T3 Gully. 528 runs in all formats. Hasn't played every game in this competition this season, but a very experienced player. Of course, both these teams in the top 2 in the 2-day competition as well.
Evans past umpire Sheridan. Foolish ball. Joaquim works it into the leg side. Just be the 1 run. Timmy Davey doing the fielding there.
And a very good over so far here from Brad Evans. No let up for the new batsman. Kerber's going to be in strike now, left-hander, but Joaquim 4 off 11. And just looking at Kerber's numbers, he goes pretty hard as well. got 48 off 39 against East Torrens, 47 off 16 against Adelaide in the opening game for the Uni Blacks. Hit 4 sixes in that game. And a slip in place. Third man just moving around a bit squarer. And the other man outside the circle at deep backward square leg.
So he runs in and bowls to the left-hander who worked this behind square on the leg side. So run coming here, fast run. Oh, my goodness. A direct hit would have had Ben Joaquim struggling for his ground. Was turned behind square on the leg side, just to that short, fine leg. They came through for the run. They've got through. And at the end of the third over, it is Adelaide University still in a fair bit of trouble at just 2 for 8.
Let's have a look at the replay. That one just worked away behind square leg. Good sharp work there. Throw coming in quickly. So Brad Evans following up the performances of Ben Hutchison and Sean Nottle with a very tidy over, a wicket, just the 2 singles, 4 dots in all. Very, very good start from the gully bowlers here as they chase another T20 title. Uni, obviously without some of their big names for this game. Nick Winter, who's doing a great job for South Australia over in Sydney. Joe Manny, who's played the last couple of games for Uni as well. And obviously Jake Weatherall, part of the winning Adelaide Strikers team here a couple of Sundays ago. So it's going to be Nottle to continue. He's going to bowl to Kerber. Uni 2 for 8 with 3 overs completed.
The left arm over the wicket, bowling to the left-handed Kerber. And this one has the batter driving. And he'll pick up one down to deep long on. So Kerber 2 from 2. Joaquim, for a hard-hitting, high-scoring batsman, has just been able to be curbed by the T20 Gully attack at the moment. 4 runs from the 11 balls that he has faced.
Yeah, good stuff from Nottle here. Not giving them a lot of air, as he tends not to do.
Yeah, always quick through the air. Doesn't often play in the A-grade side in the 2-day competition for T3 Gully, but a very key man in their T20 side. I'll pick up one more run here into the leg side.
Patrick Page just doing the fielding there. Good young up-and-coming player. He's going to go back over the wicket for the left-hander here. So Uni has got to steady things a little bit here. Wickets in the first and third overs of the game.
2 men out on the leg side. So the offside, there's boundary free. We'll just work this down to long on again and pick up one more single. So halfway through the 4th over, just 15 balls left in the power play. T3 Gully done a good job so far. Joaquim sweeps, and he'll get runs here. There'll be probably a couple. They're through for 1 and back for 2. Benny Hutchison, he's been in the game, got a wicket, taken a catch, does the fielding down there at short, fine leg. 2 runs to Benny Joaquim.
Good stuff here from Nottle, but Uni boys getting away in this over. No dot balls so far.
Look to cut that. All sorts of commentary going on. I thought it was me calling myself, Laurie.
I just wanted to get the shield score at the SCG and blow me down. I had the audio as well, which I wasn't expecting.
It's all happening. Sean Nottle bowls to Akeem, who shanks this one along the ground to deep long on. So that's the end of the 3rd over, and Adelaide University 2 for 14. Into the 4th over, rather. So just 12 balls of the power play left. 2 for 14. They've done an excellent job here, the Bulls.
Just updating the game at the SCG. New South Wales 3 for 145, an overall lead of 120. And at the moment, Curtis Patterson not out 41. Moses Enriquez not out 16. Wickets today, both going to Daniel Worrell. Hughes out for 41. Ed Cowan out for 27. So South Australia still right in the hunt in that game. And it looks like Ben Hutchison's going to return to the attack. The weather...
Bit of sawdust coming out, Laurie.
Yeah, might be just getting a little bit damp in the outfield, and the boots are probably just carrying a bit of the dampness onto the pitch. And I think it's Big Todd out there sorting out the bit of sawdust for the players. And Hutchison back on. So good first over from him, just conceding the 4 runs. And he's going to bowl the 5th over from the river end. 5 inside the circle on the offside, 2 on the leg side.
He's with Joaquim, who walks across his stumps and turns this fine behind square on the leg side. Just eluded the keeper, but they'll only pick up 1 run. Went a long way across to the offside there.
Yeah, looking to try and perhaps take advantage of the short boundary on the leg side, no more than about 55, 60 metres. And that was the pitch that was used for the Hurricanes game in the home and away, the match where Alex Carey got a century, and Jake Weatherald also getting a half century in that game.
Yeah, different to the pitch that was used on Friday night for one of the community games, which was at the opposite end of the square. Kerber just allows this to run off the outside half of the bat down to third man, who'll pick up one run, and it's 2 for 16.
Nicely played by Kerber. Scored off every ball he's faced so far, but the Gullies would be happy just to give up singles here. Well, not unhappy if you like. Obviously looking to try and get another wicket here, but 2 for 6 in the third over. They would have been delighted with the start so far. Joaquim, 9 off 16. Hasn't found the boundary yet.
Past umpire Sheridan is Hutchison. Joaquim came down the track, but it was well bowled. Just dug it in a little bit shorter. Gave him no room to work with. Angled in towards the leg stump. Could only defend it into the offside. So 9 off 17, Ben Joaquim. Have done an excellent job of tying him up. Kerber a run a ball. Hutchison, he has 1 for 6. Uni 2 for 16. And the Bulls are doing a magnificent job of defending in this power play. They've got 5 saving 1 on the offside. Joaquim walks across and puts this into the grandstand for 6. As simple as you like. It's into the first tier of the grandstand. What a wonderful shot from Ben Joaquim. He walked across his stumps. He hit it square, straight underneath the sign that represents the Max Bashir stand. And that's a much-needed boundary. The maximum boundary for Adelaide University. 6 runs to Joaquim. 6 to Adelaide University. They're 2 for 22.
Upper decker there from Joaquim. First boundary of the innings. Got hold of that beautifully. That's gone every bit of 85, 90 metres. Boundary anywhere in the country, that would have gone all the way. Beautifully timed. Might have a lost ball too. Hope someone can get it back. There's someone up there having a look. One of the ground staff there trying to get the ball back if we can find it.
4 flights of stairs he's had to climb. We'll be panting as much as you were when you went up the down escalator a little bit earlier today, Laurie.
Don't talk to me about stairs or reverse escalators.
Is
that Todd up there? He just brought out the sawdust.
He's busy, multitasking.
I'll tell you what, it's a needle in a haystack job up there with all the red seats. Here we go. He's got it. Well done, big fella.
Well spotted.
Sensational stuff. Good work.
Rifled into return too. It was a good throw.
Lovely
all the
arm.
work he'd done.
Lovely arm. So 2 for 22, Richie in the 5th. And Joaquim, can this spark his innings?
So he liked the look of that short boundary. He'd walked across his crease a couple of times, looking to get the offside ball into the leg side field. The deep square leg's gone out now. It was excellent batting by Joaquim. He moves on to 15 from 18 balls. Kerber a run a ball for 4. And Big Todd, he's going to stay on that tier.
Extra fielder, Hoogie.
12th man. Joaquim walks across and he's pulled this into the grandstand for 6 as well. So it was a shorter ball from Hutchinson. Joaquim leant back, pulled it. Wasn't quite as far as the previous 6, but it's the same amount of runs. And all of a sudden, University 2 for 28, Laurie.
Yeah, poor bowling. Too short with the short boundary. And that was helped on its way. Not as far as the previous, but great batting from Ben Joaquim. Got hold of that beautifully. And, just not the length you want to bowl at the moment. And paid the price. So a good over here for Uni. 14 off it so far. They've doubled their score from the start of the over. They were 2 for 14 after 4.
Todd's come down the stairs to have a look for this one, but the T3 Gully fielders have found it just hiding behind the fence.
He'd be blowing Todd.
He would be.
So last ball of the over coming up. He's just got to get it fuller and outside off stump. Boldy field. I know it's hard against some of these hard-hitting players, but that length is not what they want the Gullies at the moment. But that over's really got Uni back into the game. They were in big bother early, 2 for 14. And a little bit of a springboard here for the unbeaten Uni Blacks in this West End T20 Cup final.
Power play boundary is always critical. 14 runs off this over so far, and there'll be no run off the last ball. Good bit of fielding. It was Noddle who got across to his right. The left armour did a good job saving that. That could have easily escaped to the boundary for 4 as well. No run. And University, after 5 overs, 2 for 28, Laurie.
Surprised they didn't get a single there, actually. The fielder on the circle had to dive to his right. Kerber not really backing up there. I thought they might have got a single. But a good over nonetheless for Uni. 14 runs from it. A couple of powerful shots there from Joaquim. Kerber doing a good job rotating the strike. 4 off 4. And Joe Gadding's going to come on and have a trundle for the Gullies. Last over of the power play. Hasn't bowled a lot in this competition. Got 2 wickets. Economy rate of a fraction over 8. Saw him get 100 yesterday in club cricket. Watched a bit of them last week. Hit the ball very, very nicely. And he's got an opportunity here with his medium paces to try and keep things tight for T20 Gully.
Been an asset to South Australian cricket, hasn't he? I think he's been here 4 or 5 years now.
Not a bad start, as that one's chopped out to backward point. Finds the fielder. So, as I said earlier, Gully's top in the A-grade comp this season. Uni second. Both teams going on very, very nicely this season. That one takes the pad. They'll get a single. And a good start from Gadding here, not giving them too much to hit at the moment.
Front on action. Significant over this. Final over of the power play.
We don't want to be 3 down at the end of the 6 overs. You want to just 2 for a bit over 30 would be good. Fielder's getting into position. Man going out at point. And the other man outside the circle is at deep square leg. So Gadding in again. Short, strikes him. They'll get a run. Another leg by, I would think.
Looked a slow ball there, Laurie. Joaquim was through his shot before that struck him.
Might have been a bit of glove as well. Runs given.
So Joe Gadding, full-chested. Was originally at T20 Gully. Had a significant period at Northern Districts. Back with the Gullies now.
Off the edge, down to third man. Goes fine. They should get at least 2, if not 4. Oh, well done there by Sean Noddle. Seen him in the field a bit today. And Kerber gets 3 for the shot. So good batting. Got it away down to third man, and Noddle doing well in the field, saving a run.
Excellent job there. Got around hard to his right and whipped it in. Couldn't stop them running 3, though. Was well run by Kerber, coming back for that third run.
Noddle covering a bit of ground. He was at short fine leg for the last ball of the last over. Now he's going to go back to long leg for Joaquim. So man at deep square leg, man at long leg. 5 in the circle on the offside, and a mid on and a mid wicket. And that one's hit to short mid wicket. And some good fielding there by the skipper, Patrick Page, onto that very, very quickly. So tidy over, reasonably tidy over this so far, just a 5 from it. And half a chance there. It's going to go down to the boundary for 4. Firmly struck there by Joaquim. He hit it pretty hard. I don't know if Gadding got much of that left hand on the ball, but good end of the over for Uni. 9 off it, 2 for 37 into the power play. Yeah,
it was a full toss from Joe Gadding, and it was hit hard and low by Ben Joaquim. Looked like Gadding was half a chance of getting a hand on it, as Laurie said, but it raced down to the boundary straight to the man at mid-off. So after a real struggle in the early deliveries of the University power play, Ben Joaquim with 3 boundaries, 2 sixes and a 4, has just redressed that balance. They've got it over a run of ball. At the end of the power play, 6 overs, University are 2 for 37. Joaquim 26 from 23 balls. Kerber a run of ball on 7.
Yeah, 23 off the last 2 for Uni. And Ben Joaquim from his last 6 deliveries has scored 17. So Adam Summerfield's going to come into the attack for T20 Gully. He's been around the club for a long time. 7 wickets in this season's competition.
Brother Will, a good golfer, I think, isn't he? Will Summerfield plays a bit of pennant at Kooyonga.
6.88 the economy. Got a couple of twofers this season. He's going to bowl the 7th over for T20 Gully. And not a bad start, as that one's driven by Kerber down to long off for just the 1 run. Tim Davey not keeping this season, having a bit of a run around in the field, and took a good catch earlier too. That was a high ball that he had to hang on to, that first wicket. So Adam Summerfield, one of the leading all-rounders in the competition, very handy batsman and very good bowler. Attacks the stumps, and a good delivery, full and straight, and that one pushed out into the covers. So he started well here. Summerfield.
Yeah, boy from Mount Gambier, hails from down there in the southeast. And as you said, Laurie, has been a key in a number of the T20 Gully premierships. I think he's played in pretty much every one of the flags that T20 Gully's won across the last 10 years.
Not bad effort, that.
Hustling in-swing bowler. A lot of good all-rounders, this T20 Gully side, haven't they? Always been that sort of a club.
Nicely struck by Joaquim out to deep cover. Tim Evans manning the boundary out there. Well, I was going through it. I was actually having a look at the Australian Cricket Digest with all the premierships over the last few years in grade cricket. Gullies have won 5 T20s, 4 of the last 6, 5 in the 50 overs, also 4 of the last 6. And they're a bit grumpy. They've only won the 1-2-day competition in the 14-15 season when they beat Woodville. So hoping to sort that out this season. But we're on the T20 action today. That one in at the pads. And Kerber can't get it away.
That was their second premiership in 14-15, I think, wasn't it? After the first one over Adelaide that I've got
fond memories of.
Try and erase memories of.
It's hard to remember that far back, Hookie, for a lot of us.
I still recall losing 4 for 4 with 6 to win.
It's funny what you can remember. So, no, good game setting up here. Uni, after struggling at 2 for 6, now 2 for 39 in the 7th over. Summerfield. And that's driven nicely by Kerber. Chase out in the boundary for Hutchison. Does well. Gets the ball. Keeps it in play. And 2 runs to Kerber. Nice looking shot, Hookie. As a former lefty, you would have enjoyed that.
Yeah, picks up a couple of runs out there. Elegant looking batter is Kerber. Probably enjoy the ball just slanting away from him. Summerfield does a good job of tightening up the right-handers, but we'll give a little bit of width to the lefty.
Last ball this over. Clipped away, out to the deep. Tim Evans is out there. Will they risk a second? They will. They come back quickly. A long throw. He's got to throw it at best part of 65, 70 metres, and they come back for the second. So 6 off that over. 2 for 43 after 7, University.
Yeah, they've certainly got back into this game, Adelaide University. They lost 2 wickets inside the first 3 overs. That's always a challenge to try and fight back from there because you need to burn up so much of your power play, just avoiding the loss of any further wickets. But 2 for 43 now after 7 overs. So you work on the theory that anything over about 140 here on Adelaide Oval, a wicket that tends to bounce a little bit more and have a little bit more speed in it than what most batters are familiar with around grade or premier cricket wickets. So 140, 145 will always be a competitive score.
So Gadding to continue his second over. Slightly off-speed delivery, full, and pushed out into the covers for a single by Joaquim. And the score moves up to 2 for 44 in the 8th over.
Left and right-hander as well, just making T20 Gully have to switch their field quite significantly every time a single is scored.
Yeah, just an annoying part of the game for the captain, just to make sure he's got his correct number of fielders inside the circle. He's got the 5 in at the moment. He's allowed to have another man out, so fine leg's being pushed back. Adam Summerfield. So 3 on the offside inside the circle and the mid-wicket on the leg side. And Kerber chips it just wide of that fielder. It's going to race away to the boundary for 4. So using that short side of the ground well, University at the moment, their batsman. We saw Joaquim hit a couple of big 6s off Hutchison, and now Kerber joining in the boundary fun with that clip off the pads for 4.
Yeah, nice batting from Kerber. He started fairly conservatively, run a ball for the first, well, it was 8 runs after 9 deliveries, but that was an excellent shot through mid-wicket. Scoreboard ticking along nicely here.
That one takes the pad, pitching outside leg stump. And it'll be a leg by, I'd imagine, waiting for the umpire. There he goes. So another run for Uni, 2 for 49 in the 8th. Let's update the Shield score. Wickets fallen in Sydney. Patterson out for 41, caught by Cooper off Winter. So South Australia hanging in well in that game.
Winter's first-class career started with a blaze, Laurie.
He'll be keeping a keen eye on the game here today with his 5 for in the first innings, a wide there, and 5 for in the first game here. He's done well. Gets the ball to swing. So wide there from Gadding. Short run. Gets on with it. Oh, got a bit of an unkind bounce there. Page at mid-wicket.
Don't get many of them at Adelaide Oval.
No,
just caught the edge of the wicket square, I think.
Yeah. Good reflexes, the young man. He's had a good year too for T20 Gully. Getting on with the game. That one punched out to extra cover. No chance for a run there. Josh Macy there, fielding. So a couple of dots in a row here from Gadding, doing a good job. Last ball, the 8th. Steps to the offside, laps it over the top, down to the boundary for 4. So a good over in the end for Uni, 11 runs from it. And they're really starting to get a motor on. 2 for 54 after 8.
Clever batting again from Joaquim. He's been extremely successful with walking across his crease. He was well outside the off stump by the time that he'd moved that far across. The delivery from Gadding was angled in towards off stump, and he just lapped it on its way over the short fine leg fielder. No one down there protecting the boundary at fine leg. So he picks up 4 more runs and he moves on to 32 off just 29 deliveries. Kerber with him doing his job. 16 off 13. Uni 2 for 54 after 8.
So 40 off the last 4 overs. Only 14 off the first 4. So Uni really getting on with it here. Run rate nearly 7 and over. So good recovery from 2 for 6.
Just got a little bit of light rain falling again, Laurie.
Summerfield, short. That one belted away behind square leg. A chase for Tim Evans. But the ball's going to win a slide there, but all the way. So Kerber brings up the 50 partnership with that pull shot. Some good batting here from Uni at the moment. And the Gully bowlers just having a bit of trouble at the moment.
Yeah, excellent shot from Kerber. Rocked onto the back foot. They've got 2 men out there protecting that boundary. He picked the gap perfectly. And down there in front of the Sir Edwin Smith stand, 4 more runs. And Adelaide University, who were in a little bit of trouble early, losing 2 wickets inside the first 3 overs, now 2 for 58.
Yeah, 50 partnership from 36 balls. Kerber finds the fielder. And you reckon that rain is getting heavier, Hookie? What do you think?
Yep, I think it's certainly as heavy as we've seen since the opening balls of this game, or just before the game started, when there was a little bit of light rain just drizzling through. The ground staff here aren't too worried about it. They've got the sprinklers running on the mounds.
Have to.
At the
I've
northern
just
end.
noticed that, actually. That's a classic. No spectators up there, fortunately. They'll be getting a free share as Summerfield off speed, driven to mid-on. They'll get a run. And a good throw there from Brad Evans. Very determined cricketer. Good fella, Brad.
Sam Kerber had an issue there. He had to get around the reasonably solid frame of Adam Summerfield to make his ground there.
Field changing over for the right-hander. And, of course, we need 5 overs aside here. We've comfortably got there with the first innings.
Joaquim, you think he'll be eyeing off the short boundary to his leg side here.
Summerfield's got to keep the ball full here. And that one's safe enough. Bowling to his field. Evans at deep cover. So Joaquim doing a good job here after not the quickest start. He was 3 off his first 10, but starting to motor along now. Took 2 sixes off the bowling of Hutchison in the 5th. That really got Uni going. And if they can get through their 20 overs, weather permitting, they're looking at 140 at least, I would think, from here. Maybe more. Full, just misses the leg stump. Kerber looking to hit that square of the wicket.
Wow.
Summerfield can't believe his luck. And Jack Halliday behind the stumps doing a good job.
Did a good job, Halliday, after all of that. It was a leg side ball that he'd given himself some room to try and hit straight. Somehow it got between his pads. Oh, that is so close to leg stump. And Halliday, who probably wasn't expecting that ball was going to be coming to him, did an excellent job of diving to his right to reel it in.
So the last ball, the 9th over. Off the pad. Easy single there for Kerber. Just wait on the umpire, whether it's a leg by. Yes, umpire
Sheridan
signalling to the scorers and the board. So 6 off the bat, a leg by, 7 in all, 2 for 61 after 9. Joaquim 33, Kerber 21, and a very good partnership developing for the second wicket. Gloomy here at the Adelaide Oval, 55 for the second wicket, 2 for 61 off 9.
So if you are tuning in here at the Adelaide Oval to the live stream of this West End men's T20 fixture, you will be able to pick up that there has been some rain falling over the last couple of minutes. The concourse terracing that you can see at the bottom of your screen is significantly wet now, and that is going to be an extra challenge for the Tea Tree Gully fielders. Noddle comes back. It's not Noddle.
Macy.
Macy comes into the attack.
Yeah, the offie. He's had a pretty good season.
He'll be bowling to Kerber, but this ball has the potential to get a bit wet now. That's always a challenge for the bowlers and the fielders.
Interesting to bring the off-spinner off in these circumstances. That one driven out through cover. Good-looking shot. Chase for Brad Evans, but he gives up on it. There's no way he's going to get that. And Kerber moves on to 25. Going along very, very nicely here, Uni. And there's a ball stuck under the fence.
So the young 22-year-old Josh Macy threw that one up nicely. He doesn't mind throwing them up. Happy to give the ball a bit of air. Unlike his spinning partner, Sean Noddle. He's one bowler who will happily toss them up.
Gary Chillingworth, former Gullies offie, and played 3 games for South Australia. Had a bit to do with his lad. That one's worked away neatly into the leg side.
Gary Chillingworth would be the only off-spinner to take 5 wickets for South Australia using an orange cricket ball, I think.
On debut.
Yeah.
He's here somewhere today. He texted me earlier. Catch up with him after. Big Greggy Fall here as well.
Another Tea Tree Gully spinner.
Yeah, well, Gary's young lad Harrison's quite a handy young wicket keeper in the under 16s, I think.
Okay.
So going well, the family, father and son. So Paul Page, Patrick Page rather, having a chat to his bowler, just trying to get the field right.
Confused him with the South Adelaide Reserves Magarey medalist, Paul Page.
Funny how some names just stick in your head. It's watched a bit of SNFL around that time, and it's just one of those names. The two names go together.
One of the great awards, the Reserves Magarey medal.
2 for 66 in the 10th. And a missed stumping, I reckon, from Jack Holliday there. Should have taken that. Quicker one from Macy. And Wakimi should have been on his way there. Disappointment for Holliday behind the stumps.
Yeah, the boy from Golden Grove, Jack Holliday. His old father, Phil. His father, Phil, played for Tea Tree Gully as well.
And a reverse straight to the fielder there. Summerfield in the way at backward point.
Housemate of the opening bowler, Ben Hutchinson, is Jack.
Yeah, good lads, Jack and Benny. Get the name a little bit past Players' Day last Saturday at Tea Tree Gully, and always good for a chat about what's happening as the extra fielder comes across to protect that reverse sweep. Tim Davey. So 2 for 66 in the 10th.
Gee, Tim Davey, the normal keeper.
Full toss, whack back down the ground. Only get the one. Fielding down there by Matty Weaver. So in the wet conditions, he's recovered pretty well here, Macy, Ben, with a boundary off the first ball. Single, dot, single since, as we get close to the halfway point of this innings.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a fight back. As soon as that first ball went for 4, you start to lose a little bit of confidence, and that's the last thing you need if you can't grip the ball properly as an off-spinner, so he's done well.
Rain getting a bit heavier, well flighted, driven, bowling to his field. So 7 off the over, and we've reached the halfway point of the Adelaide Uni innings. 2 for 68. There were 2 for 6 in the third over. As you can see there, the cement just starting to get a little bit wet, and the rain is starting to get quite a bit heavier, and the umpire's having a bit of a look. No movement from the ground staff. There's the scorecard. Burgess out for 2, Salt for 1, Joaquim 34 at a run of ball, and Kerber going a little bit quicker than a run of ball, 27 off 21. 2 for 68 after 10, and a wicket each for Hutchison and Brad Evans.
So the rain is still light, but it's certainly steady here at the Adelaide Oval. It's been threatening to rain right throughout the duration of this game. We've got the minimum required 5 overs in for University. Of course, Tea Tree Gully would have to bat for at least they'll need to be able to bat for at least 5 overs, and of course the Duckworth-Lewis system could potentially play a part here. Laurie's got the radar continually loading there, and it probably looks like we're going to have at least another hour or so of this sort of light to middling rain, which is just nuisance value here. But so far we haven't lost any play, which is the main thing. It'll be Evans back into the attack. And he's running in a bowling to Kerber, and this one's down the leg side, and it'll be a wide. Umpire Eloise Sheridan, their first ever Premier League Grand Final, makes that signal.
And that's nationwide too, isn't it, Hookie? I'm led to believe from your bit in the paper there.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. Right round Australia, the first female ever to umpire a Premier level cricket grand final. So she's doing very well so far in this game as Kerber walks across his stumps and looks to wang this out to the long mid-wicket boundary. Just takes the pad and trickles out to third man for one leg by.
Well, there's a big gap there on the leg side, long on and more of a forward square leg. The right-hander coming on strike now, Joaquim. So the rain getting steadier. Players continue to play on, keen to continue on.
Constable Brad Evans of the South Australian Police Force. He's at the top of his mark. Begins his run in now. Past umpire Sheridan and bowls to Joaquim, and that somehow has missed the off stump. He walked across his crease and looked to lap it to the leg side. It was perilously close to the leg stump, Laurie. Lucky to survive.
Seen a couple of balls go close to the stumps today. That one, I don't know how it's missed. Jack Holliday there takes the ball, but that was literally a coat of varnish.
Almost like it seemed to just straighten up a tiny bit. Evans, he's in again. Bowling to Joaquim, who can work this through the leg side. And it's 4 runs. Well, it looked like he picked out the man at the square leg boundary who moved around to his left, but it was just timed so exquisitely, it raced into the fence. And it's 4 runs. Lovely shot from Joaquim. Walked across a little bit. Ball was probably heading down the leg side. There was a fielder out there. The left arm was outstretched, but it was one bouncing over the rope. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, hit it well. Playing the short side of the ground cleverly in this innings, Joaquim.
2 for 74. 3 left in this over. Wide of the crease, and Evans does well to do the fielding in his follow-through. Dot ball.
That back foot's getting close to the return crease, Ben. I don't know if you've spotted that. He does go wide, Brad Evans. And as does Summerfield, he goes not quite as wide, but certainly one for the umpire to watch there. Cause
we ask a lot of umpires, don't we? Look at the return crease, look at the popping crease, and then get the LBWs right as well. Evans is in again, bowling to Joaquim, and this was a good, accurate ball. He's turned it behind square on the leg side. They're through for 1, and they'll come back for 2, and they'll get it pretty comfortably as well. So good running by Joaquim. They move on to 2 for 76, University. Got 1 ball left in this, the 11th over. Brad Evans shares a house with a couple of his teammates, brother Tim, and Tim Davey as well. So the 3 of them in there. It'll be
1 ball to go in the over. Evans.
Full and driven by Joaquim out to deep cover for 1 run. That'll be the end of the 11th over. It's 2 for 77.
Yeah, good over for Uni there. They've got the rate up to 7 per over. Rain's still quite steady. Play continuing. There's the story of the Uni innings. Joaquim, after a slow start, he was 3 off 10, 41 off 38. Kerber 27 off 22. 3 fours for Kerber, 3 fours and a couple of 6s for Joaquim. And just look at the bowling. Nottle, 2 overs for 8, doing well. Brad Evans, 2 overs, 1 for 10. 8 off that last over. Macy, who bowled the 10th over. Looks like he may well continue with his off breaks. So 2 for 77. Bit of rain falling here, but the play continues on. I hope you're enjoying the coverage on the live stream with commentary from Laurie Colliver, and here's Ben Hook.
And we're with young Macy, who's bowling to Ben Joaquim, 41 from 38 deliveries, and he'll move on to 42 from 39.
So not easy conditions for the off spinner. He's going to bowl around the wicket to the left-handed Kerber. So 3
aggressive off spinner, happy to give the ball air.
3 on the offside in the circle, 1 on the leg side behind square. So there's a single for him anywhere on the leg side.
This is thrown up. Kerber just shanks it into his boot, trickles out onto the offside. Macy does the work in his follow through. So good bowling.
We'd be happy to not give up a run there because the whole of the leg side is open. And just a little dab towards mid-wicket would see Kerber get a single, but good bowling so far.
Plenty of protection on the boundary, and could pick up 2 into the leg side. Was just hit at that ideal speed. They thought about a second. It was a good piece of fielding from the man out there at long on who closed in very quickly to cut off any chance of a run. That's big Matty Weaver.
He got to the ball quickly, Hookie. Sometimes if you haven't got a great arm, you get to the ball quickly, it will deter someone taking the extra run. So Joaquim back in strike now, facing the off spinner,
who tosses this one up, and he's forward and pulling it out through the mid-wicket region. They'll pick up a couple of runs here. Well timed by Joaquin.
So started the competition, Joaquin, with 76 off 34 balls. Got a 25 against Kensington. 30 in the semi-final off 23 deliveries against Port Adelaide. Now well over 200 runs in the comp this season.
He's on 44, and he'll drive this hard out over the offside, and there could be 4 more runs here. Oh, brilliantly fielded out there at cover. A great job by Hutchison. Was an excellent piece of work. He dived full length to his right. He had just millimetres before the ball was going to hit the rope. Manages to parry it out to his teammate at long off, and managed to restrict the scoring to 2 runs. So, oh, gee, I wonder if they'll have a look at that. I reckon that might have had a foot on the rope as that was fielded. Now, I think you'll find that this probably could have been called 4. Anyway, we're going to move on. 2 runs it is. T-Tree Gully will be happy with that. This one's thrown up at a full toss, and Joaquin's going to put it away into the gap out there at deep mid-wicket. Easily back for 2 before the fielding is done out there at mid-wicket by Joe Gadding. So that's the end of the over, Laurie. 12 overs down. Uni 2 for 85. Joaquin on 48. Kerber on 28. And this partnership now, I think, is realised 79.
79. Good performance. 50... How many balls? 54 balls, the partnership. And, yes, damp conditions, but play continues. Good to see. The players want to play. And no real hassles at the moment with anyone slipping and sliding. We saw Hutchison down on the boundary, aquaplaning to save that on the rope, but yeah, no real hassles, and he's going to come back into the attack, Ben Hutchison. His first over only went for the 4, then he got cracked by Joaquin for a couple of 6s into the eastern stand. 2 overs, 1 for 18 with 5 dot balls so far.
He's got some sawdust down on the front crease, so it is moist out there. Not dangerous though. We're not seeing any gremlins in the wicket. Bowlers aren't sliding significantly. Always means it's good enough for play to continue. 2 for 85. The opening of the 13th over. Benny Hutchinson running in and bowling to Sam Kerber. This is foolish outside the line of the off stump, driven hard through the offside. They'll pick up 1 run.
The key here for Hutchison with that short boundary on the offside for Kerber and the leg side for Joaquin. He's just got to protect it. Can't afford to bowl too short to Joaquin. We've seen him twice clear the rope. One by some margin into the upper deck. So what's his field here? 3 on the offside inside the circle, mid-on, or more mid-wicket on the leg. Long on, deep square leg, and deep backward square leg on the leg side.
And light drizzly rain falling. He's with Joaquin now, and this is full outside off stump, and it's sliced out over backward point. They'll be through for 2. So that's 50 for Ben Joaquin off just 43 balls. Very well played by him. He saw a little bit of carnage around him early when the Adelaide University team were 2 for 6 and in all sorts of problems. Burgess fell, then Salt not long after. But he's held things together well with Kerber, and that's 50 well played.
3 4s, 2 6s for Ben Joaquin. Second 50 in this season's competition.
He's over his bat now and facing Hutchinson again. And this one he's tried to loft back down the ground. Didn't get a great piece of it, but it's very well run by Sam Kerber. And they pick up 2 more runs.
Yeah, just mung that one over the bowler's head. Brad Evans quickly to the ball, but couldn't prevent the second run. So Joaquin looking to really tee off here. Just 7.5 overs to go. 2 for 6 Uni would have been just hoping to get around 140, but I think they're looking at around 150, 160 now with plenty of wickets in hand.
Hutchinson's bowling to Joaquin. This one's a full ball, and he just works it out to long on. It'll be 1 run.
And full and straight's got to be the go here for the gully bowlers. You've got a short boundary one side. You can defend. We saw the strikers do it in the final of the BBL 07, and we saw him in other games bowl some good Yorkers and full and straight deliveries. Just takes that short boundary out of the equation, and Hutchison will need to try and do that in the next couple of overs he's got left to bowl.
Now, there is an art to protect your short boundary, and T-Tree Gully are doing a good job of it. And that's a smart ball again. Had Kerber trying to wang that out towards the larger boundary on the leg side. It just took him on the pad. maybe got a little bit of bat onto it. And they're through for just one more run.
So Uni keeping the score ticking over here. Not too many dot balls at the moment. Picking up runs. Gullies need to try and break this partnership. It's worth 86 as the rain just gets a little bit heavier.
Last ball of the over. He's with Joaquim. And this one's very well bowled. He walked across his crease and all he could do was just jam down on a full wide ball. Squeezed it out to the man at backward point. No run. Excellent piece of bowling by Ben Hutchinson. Just the 7 runs off that over, and you can see on your screen now the 2 back-to-back sixes he hit. That one into the second tier, and that pull shot just beautifully played out over the boundary line, over backward square leg and into the blue seats. So another boundary there from Ben Joaquim down the ground off the full toss that he received from Joe Gadding a few overs ago. And this is a beautiful lap shot there, just down in front of the grandstand that we're in the Riverbank stand. So some of the boundaries from Ben Joaquim we're seeing now. That one he just worked delightfully off his toes. Don't know how it beat the man out there at square leg. It looked for everything like he was going to reel it in, but just exemplary timing. And that leaves him on 53 from 46 balls. It's Noddle back into the attack. Fast action. Quick through the air. He's bowling to Sam Kerber, who's on 30 from 26 balls. He works this square on the leg side and he'll pick up 1 run.
A nice highlights package there of Joaquim's innings. Shots to all parts of Adelaide Oval. And he's looking to go on with the job here in this final 7 overs. He's had plenty of good support from Kerber and his innings of 30. And Nottle's going to bowl around the wicket. Hasn't conceded a boundary yet so far in his 2.1 overs. You can just hear the rain perhaps through the effects mic, just a little bit of noise coming through. But play continues and the players enjoying what's a pretty good standard of T20 final for West End.
False start from Noddle. He'll reset. He's wide of the crease. Round arm ball to Joaquim. Again, just knocked into the leg side. I'll pick up a single. Summerfield does the fielding.
So with the left-hander on strike here, Noddle's got to be right at the top of his game here. Short boundary, about 55, 60 metres to the leg side.
Ball turning into that short boundary as well, Laurie.
Absolutely. So he needs to be right on the job here. Otherwise the ball may end up in that bit of the Jack Odie stand or the Max Bashir stand.
And generally the bowler that the left-hander wants, isn't it? The ball spinning into him on the short boundary. Just a little lap sweep there for a single. So good bowling from Noddle.
Tim Davey doing a good job there in the field. Just keep it to 1. So 3 singles in this over. And the players doing well to stay out there. And good by the umpires as well to keep play continuing. Got a couple of sightboard operators down the far end doing an excellent job as well.
Faster ball. Appeal for LBW. Bruce Stribley says not out. They'll pick up 1 run. Likely to be a leg bye. Was wide of the crease and fast through the air. Probably just angling down leg side. I all thought he might have had his man.
Yeah, outside the line of off stump. And contact with pad only, according to the umpire.
So 2 for 96. Kerber on strike on 32. Noddle's with him now. Faster ball. This is sliced out to extra cover and it's caught by Summerfield. Nice catch by Summerfield. He moved quickly to his left and Kerber was probably looking all the time for that short boundary on the leg side. In the end, he was forced to play a ball through the offside and he just sort of squeezed it off his bat. It was a slice ball and Summerfield did a good job getting to his left, taking the catch, and that's a really important wicket for T20 Gully after a 90-run partnership between Kerber and Joaquim. It's Kerber who falls for 32.
Yeah, well done by Noddle there. Good bit of bowling. 2.5 overs now for him. 1 for 11. Let's have another look at it. And yeah, just didn't quite hit it where he intended. Summerfield quickly onto it. And he's on his way for 32. So 2 for 6. 3 for 96. Very good partnership getting Uni right back into this game. And with 1 ball left of the 14th over. Uni, well, they need to press on here, get up around 150. It's a little bit of rain falling here at Adelaide Oval. And again, with this bit of rain about, the spinner's still doing a pretty good job. Wouldn't be easy to grip the ball at the moment, but young Nottle doing particularly well. 2 off his first over, 6 off his second, and just 3 runs and a leg by so far off this, his third and the 14th of the innings.
James McCollum is the new batter for Adelaide University. He comes in with a score at 3 for 96. So an excellent partnership between those two. Kerber, the left-hander, has departed. Joaquim is still there, having passed his 50 in the previous over. So the last ball of the 14th over. 2 right-handers now for Nottle, as in a left-arm spinner with a short boundary for the left-hander's leg side. I think he'll be pretty relaxed about that. Big wicket for him, claiming Sam Kerber. McCollum's over his bat now. Wide of the crease, and he cuts this behind point. It won't beat the man at backward point. So, fine over from Nottle. Figures of 1 for 11. He's done a particularly good job. Joaquim on 54. McCollum with him yet to score. Yes. 3 for 96.
Yeah, 3 overs, 1 for 11, 8 dots for Nottle. And McCollum, of course, one of the members of this uni lineup from interstate or overseas. Hails from Northern Ireland. Played a bit at Gloucestershire. Got a 50 earlier in the competition against Kensington. Had a couple of handy hits. 37 not out off 20 against Glenelg and 51 off 43 against the Browns.
So I think this rain is a bit heavier again now, Laurie.
Well, full marks for staying out there.
Well, neither umpire has even intimated that they should be coming off.
Well, not only that, but you look at the pitch, there's no real extra marks on there. There's
no.
A little bit of sawdust at our end, but Ben Hutchinson's going to bowl the 4th over, his last. He has 1 for 25 off 3 so far.
And he's with Joaquim now, works across his crease and just bunts it into the leg side. Just pick up the 1 run. Wonder if Damien Hoff's at home watching this on the live stream and thinking he doesn't want his pitch square being damaged.
Well, talking to Coxie, one of the long-standing ground staff here today, he said that he's had last week off and today off, so he's taking a bit of well-earned leave. There's been a lot of games here and done a great job with the ground all season. The ground staff, it's always looked in great order.
It's outside the line of the off stump there to McCollum. Doesn't get bat on it. Through to wicket-keeper Holiday.
And condolences to the Hawkins family. Johnny Hawkins, who's been a long-term staff member here at the Sacker. His wife Shirley died suddenly last week. Just in her mid to late 60s. Sad news there for John the Pom and the family. So condolences to those guys. A sad time.
John's son Rowley played a bit of A-grade cricket for Prospect. This ball's driven out through the covers. Just the 1 run. A little misfield out there at cover.
And first sign of maybe a misfield due to the conditions. The ball would be getting a little bit greasy. The fielder at mid-off, Brad Evans, looking to sort of dry the ball in his pants a little bit there, but Hutchison's done pretty well in this over so far.
He has.
1.1 as he looks to finish off his 4-over spell.
He's with Joaquim now, and it's a good full ball. Wide outside the off stump, protecting that leg side boundary. Did an excellent job. All Joaquim could do was shank down onto the top of the ball. And Hutchinson did the fielding in his follow through. So he's done a good job here. He went the journey a couple of times in his second over, I think it was, Laurie. But since then he's fought back pretty well and defended that boundary, bowling here from the Riverbank end.
They reckon W.G. Grace used to be able to hit Yorkers for 6. Well, I'd defy anyone to hit that one for a boundary. Beautifully bowled, as you said.
Joaquim on 55. He's facing Hutchinson, and that's through to the wicket-keeper. Good speed there from Hutchinson. Just cranked that one up a little bit. And so this over suddenly becoming a very good one for the T20 Gully side. Just the 2 singles from it, 1 ball remaining. And that'll leave 5 overs left in the Adelaide University innings. And they're doing an excellent job because it does look wet out there. The ball just continues to get a little bit of moisture on it. Makes it harder for the bowlers and the fielders. But they have reeled back this Adelaide University total a little bit. And that's outside the line of the off stump again. Big appeal. Umpire Sheridan says no. It was a reasonable appeal from the T20 Gully team. It looks like Holiday wondering what the noise was then. But Ben Hutchinson happy just to collect his hat and move on. Joaquim survives. And at the end of the 15th over, Adelaide University, 3 for 98.
Yeah, big shout there from Holiday. He thought it was a clear edge, but I must admit on the replay I thought there was a bit of a gap between bat and ball. And a good finish for Hutchison. Just the 2 singles off that last over. Finishes his spell. 4 overs, 1 for 27 with 10 dot balls. And the Gullies have fought back the last couple of overs. They've picked up the wicket of Kerber, only conceding 4 off that 14th over, and now just 2 singles off that 15th over. 3 for 98 with 5 to go. So it's going to be Nottle. He'll finish up his 4 overs. Has 3 overs, 1 for 11. And a good delivery and a peel for leg before. Could be a run out on at the keeper's end. And he gets back safely, does McCollum.
Got away with one there because Nottle was so busy appealing he didn't get the chance to get around and field it to his left-hand side. It would have been a fairly straightforward run out if he'd gone for the ball in the first place.
So 3 for 98 in the 16th. Nottle. Left arm round. Dug out to the leg side. Chance for 2. Adam Summerfield in quickly. Bit of slippage there, Hoogie.
Yeah, so Ben Joaquim slipped. He was going to run 2. He slipped and called no, but by the time he called no, McCollum was coming for 2 the other way, and then he slipped halfway down trying to get back to make his ground at the non-striker's end. So the weather is just starting to have a little bit of an effect here now.
Yeah, a little bit of impact. Tim Evans, a little bit of slippage in the last over. Batsman having a little bit of trouble there. Full toss, belted down to long off to bring up the 100 for Uni. So Gully's pulling it back well here. They look like they were odds on to concede probably 150 when Joaquim and Kerber were going about things, but thanks to Nottle in these last couple of overs and also Hutchison, they've really pegged things back. Field change on the leg side. No, the
umpires are talking.
Having a chat, yeah, and I think they might. What are they going to do? No, they're going to play on.
Yeah.
Well, looking at the radar, it's going to pass soon, but I just wonder how much more water's going to get on the ground.
Just by the looks of the radar, it'll be a bit heavier before it lightens up. And that might be the issue, is how long can they keep playing if this rain continues to strengthen?
Yeah, that one's punched out to cover for 1. And look, to be honest, if they get through this over, it might be a bad move to actually come off because you don't want the pitch to get too wet. And if it's inevitable that we do come off, you want the play to be able to continue. So Gullies have another innings. Change of gloves there.
Ground staff underneath us to my right, ready to roll.
Yeah, it's heavy as we've had now. It's really coming down.
It's steady rain now, isn't it?
Yeah. And given the fact that the radar shows there's going to be a break, I think they'd be well advised to probably come off. But we'll see what happens. They might continue on.
Big advantage for T20 Gully if they do come off here.
So Nottle, who's done a great job. Oh, that's down leg side. He swept it, and that's going to run away down to the boundary. Chase for Brad Evans. He won't get that. And it's going to be 4 to Joaquim. So he hits his 4th 4. It's his first boundary for 5 overs. He's kept the score rattling on nicely with some 2s and 1s, but that was a good shot. Yeah,
it was well played. It was going to be a wide anyway, but he got full value for it, helped it on its way, beat the man at short fine leg. That was Evans there. You can see the rain on the screen there. It's steady now.
So last ball of the over and worked down the ground nicely. So Nottle finishes his 4, 1 for 19. Very good spell from him. And Uni with 4 overs to go, 3 for 106. Joaquim 61. You can see the raindrops there. And
umpires are meeting again, and I would suspect that they're going to lean towards coming off here shortly. One of the ground staff, he's already made his way onto the ground as if they want to come on and get this wicket covered. The umpires are not looking at the area of the ground staff. The groundsmen are just going to come on regardless here, I think you're going to find. They are going on. So we might just see if we can get a camera to swing down to the southern end of the ground. And there you can see the ground staff are coming on. The umpires haven't invited them to do so, but the players are going to go off and the covers are going to come on here at Adelaide Oval. We are going to have a short delay for rain with Adelaide University at 3 for 106. Ben Joaquim, the opening batsman, on 61. McCullum on 3. But it has got more and more heavy out here, Laurie Colliver, and inevitably the game's going to have to stop for a brief period of time as we allow this little band of rain to pass.
A couple of questions here. If we do stay off for around 15 to 20 minutes, does it mean Uni's innings is over? That's my first question we need to know. And I think obviously DLS will come into the equation as well. With Uni only having lost 3 wickets, their target, they'd set the Gullies, if we get back on, would be a little bit over 106. So
Yep.
we might take a break just for the time being while the rain is falling. Might go and grab a little bit of lunch. Ben Joaquim coming off, 61 not out, has played very well. The full cover's going on, not a good sign.
No.
But we might take a break, Hookie, and come back and resume proceedings shortly. Just quickly, Shield update. You can go and watch that for a while if you want to. It's 6-1-79 in Sydney, and you might want to talk through a couple of highlights here, Hookie, before we do take a break.
Yeah, that was the opening wicket to fall. It was Burgess who fell very early on, and then that was Salt who worked the ball off his pads, and it was very well caught. Then it was Joaquim who did some damage off the bowling of Hutchinson. That one into the second tier of the stand, and that one pulled away over the boundary rope as well and into the seats here on the eastern side of Adelaide Oval. Nice boundary there off the bowling of Gadding, the full toss. So Ben Joaquim certainly been the mainstay of this innings. That's Kerber there who crashed that one through mid-wicket and picked up 4 runs. It's Joaquim again getting across his stumps, just lapping that over the vacant short fine leg area, picking up 4 runs. Kerber with an excellent pull shot behind square on the leg side, picked the gap between the two men. This one was tossed up by Macy and beautifully driven by Kerber out through extra cover. Picked up 4 runs. Evans into the attack. Lovely shot by Joaquim, turning that in front of square on the offside. And then that was the 3rd wicket. Sam Kerber falling, caught by Adam Summerfield off the bowling of Noddle. Nice catch moving to his left. And then that was a bit of a poor ball from Noddle, and Ben Joaquim helped it on its way down to the fine leg boundary and picked up 4 runs there. So we are in a rain delay here in the West End Men's T20 Premier Cricket Grand Final for the South Australian Cricket Association. We will take a short break and we'll bring you play as soon as we possibly can. So welcome back here to the Adelaide Oval. It is the West End Premier Grade T20 Grand Final between Tea Gully and Adelaide University. And after a rain at the Adelaide Oval, it is the West End Premier Grade T20 Grand Final between Tea Gully and Adelaide University. And after a rain delay, we can report that play is set to resume, with Tea Gully needing to chase 107 runs from 16 overs. The rain came with 4 overs left in the with the Adelaide University innings. They were 3 for 106 and looking for everything like they'd go on to post around about 135, 140. But the 4 overs were lost due to rain, and without a DRS ruling, it means that Tea Gully simply have to chase the target that Adelaide University have posted in those 16 overs. 107 runs to win. The players are out there warming up now. The umpires will be on the ground shortly. Laurie Colliver is joining me in commentary. And Laurie, well, I'll tell you what, with DLS, it would have made a fairly significant difference to the total that Tea Gully had to chase, I suspect. Yeah, well, I think Uni had a real disadvantage with only having lost 3 wickets, Ben. They may well have been able to set, I haven't got the exact figures in front of me, but they may well have had to face close to 120. As it is, they have to face 16 overs and get 107, and it's just one of the vagaries of cricket. Playing conditions are different from one format to the other, in one state to another, in one part of the world to the other. Uni 6.625 and over. So, and a bit more rain on the horizon, which adds another dimension to this West End T20 Cup final. But just on the game itself, excellent innings from Ben Joaquim, 61 not out from 55 deliveries after they were 2 for 6 in a lot of trouble early. Sam Kerber, 32 off 29, partnership of 90 for the 3rd wicket. And for the Gullies, Sean Noddle doing a good job, 4 overs, 1 for 19. But it's still not going to be an easy target. 107 off 16 overs won't be the easiest to get. Uni have got a pretty good side, so we'll get play underway. It's scheduled to get underway at 2:08. Just doesn't look like it's quite going to start at 2:08 with a minute to go, but we're not far off a resumption, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Gullies tackle this target. Power play, I reckon, would be the first 4 overs of the 16. Right, so you don't think that because Adelaide University received a full 6-over power play that Tea Gully would be entitled to a full 6-over power play as well? We're trying to work this out on the fly ourselves a bit here, aren't we, Laurie? Yeah, it's a good question. I'll text through to Aaron Tuckfield from the Sacker just to give us the rundown, but I would say that there would be a reduction in the power play, and that would be a little bit too much in favour of the Gullies to have just
2 fielders allowed out for the first 6 of 16 overs. That would help them a lot.
I'm only going if the rules have stated that it's just chase what you're entitled to chase, that whether the fact that Adelaide University were entitled to the full 6 overs of a power play, whether T20 Gully would be entitled to the same chase. I guess these are all things we're about to find out on the fly here, Laurie. The 2 umpires are out on the ground now. Bruce Stribley, who's making his way out to the centre. Eloise Sheridan is wandering back towards the change rooms. Of course, Eloise Sheridan umpiring her first Premier Cricket level grand final after making her A-grade debut in October of last year. First female ever to umpire a grand final in the history of Australian Premier level cricket. So congratulations to her. She's beginning to make her way out onto the ground now. But I think it's probably fair to say that with this being the playing condition, the side batting first, which is Adelaide University, is at a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But then again, they had the chance. They could have won the toss and had a field as well. But yeah, we've just got a game of cricket about to resume, and they are the playing conditions. And it's like a lot of things that happen in cricket. If you don't read the playing conditions, you don't know what's going on. And we've found out today ourselves the state of what's happening. But 107 to win for the Gullies in 16 overs, and of course with a bit of rain in the southwest or the northwest coming this direction, we've got to get to 5 overs, and T20 Gully, based on what we understand, would need to be 34 after 5 overs, irrelevant of how many wickets they will have lost. So we're back to the old school playing conditions, and we'll find out exactly when the power play is going to be as well, whether it's 6 overs or perhaps back to 4. So the play about to get underway here, the field's starting to clear as we wait for the uni fielders and the 2 opening batsmen. I can see Paul Page down here to the left. Paul Page. Patrick Page. 0-2 on that game today. Having a little warm-up down below us, and the uni blokes in a huddle just getting ready for their effort to defend the 106 in the 16 overs. But Gullies have won a lot of these titles the last few seasons, and I think they're slight favourites heading into this second period of the game. Yeah,
I think they would happily have accepted when this match started. If they're chasing 107 with all 10 wickets available from 16 overs, they would think that was a pretty reasonable arrangement. Will be interesting to see if the wicket has become a little bit rain affected. Be interesting to see if the outfield slowed down a little bit, Laurie. These are all factors that remain to be seen, but we're going to find out very shortly, because both of the teams are making their way out into the middle. Of course, Adelaide University, led by Ben Wakim, the number 13. And the 2 T20 Gully batters making their way out onto the ground now.
So Matt Weaver is going to be joined by Joe Gadding. And Matt Weaver this season striking at 172. 59 in the first game against East Torrens. So Weaver will take strike, Gadding the non-striker's end. So on the right of screen, Matt Weaver just taking guard. He's hit 478 runs in all formats this season, 136 in the West End T20 Cup. And Joe Gadding, century yesterday, 34 in the semi, 330s and a 40, striking at 130 this season at an average of 33, 167 runs, leading run getter in the comp for T20 Gully. And Peter Wilson's going to open the bowling. Is he from? No, he's
Ben Ellis, I think it'll be.
Ben Ellis, yeah, from our end, the River or City end.
Peter Wilson just standing there at mid-off.
And 4 over power play confirmed. So.
4 over power play. Well done, Laurie.
That's fair enough.
You were spot on.
I think that's fair enough.
So we are ready to go here. We've lost around about 25 minutes due to rain that's been drifting across Adelaide Oval pretty much since the dying throes of the statewide Super Women's T20 Final, won by West Torrens. But we're in action here now. T20 Gully chasing 107 to win. It's Weaver on strike, and he's facing Ellis. And the first ball is cut down to third man. They'll pick up 1 run.
Nice play by Matty Weaver. So 106 the score from Uni for the loss of 3. A bit of a disadvantage with the no DLS in this competition, but they've got to go out there and have a crack. Both these sides having very good seasons in the A-grade competition, and already a little bit of sawdust required for the bowler. And Joe Gadding to face his first delivery. Had a pretty good season so far. Bowled 2 overs for 18 earlier in the day. And a little bit of sawdust applied there to the front foot. And there'll be still a little bit of dampness on the outfield as well from the rain. It rained a lot of the uni batting innings. Players staying out there much of the time. So second ball of the innings finally. Ellis to bowl to Gadding.
He's with him now, and this is outside the off stump, and play and miss from Gadding. Could have been close to a wide. It was probably just inside the indicator line for the umpire there. That one through to the wicketkeeper.
By my calculations, based on the old run rate system, if we get to 5 overs, TTG need to be 34 or more if the rain did return. So they've basically got to, the past scores basically, they've got to be scoring about 6.7 runs per over.
Ellison again, the boy from Alice Springs, is getting a nice little bit of a way swing at the moment. This takes the outside half of Gadding's bat, just squeezes down to third man. They pick up 1 run. So both boys off the mark.
A little bit of swing there too for Ellis, who's got 5 wickets this season, got 3 in the semi against Port Adelaide. Economy rate a little bit high for his liking, I imagine, 9.3. One of a couple of NT lads in the side today for Adelaide Uni.
Rain and clouds wouldn't suit an Alice Springs boy, Laurie. We were up there for the Big Bash game a couple of weeks ago where it was scalding hot. Comes in and bowls, and this is over the top, well hit by Matty Weaver. Out to the boundary at long off for 4 runs. Beautifully done. Danced down the wicket, got the length perfect. And Ellis went the journey there, 4 runs. T-Tree Gully, no wicket for 6.
Yeah, doesn't muck around. Weaver down the wicket, smashes that back over mid-off. Excellent shot, and they'll be looking to get as many of these 107 runs in the power play as possible. Pretty firepower in both sides, but Weaver is one of the best in this competition, striking at 172 this season. As I mentioned before, first game of the season, 59 off 26 against East Torrens in their 7-wicket win, hitting 6 sixes. Now the keeper standing up to the stumps.
Yeah, Michael Burgess comes up there, takes the helmet on, just to avoid the potential for Weaver to come down the crease, and that's close to a wide and signalled wide by umpire Sheridan. So another run goes to the T-Tree Gully total. Just stuck a little bit, I think, that one for Benny Ellis. Quite close now, isn't it? Humid, Laurie.
Yeah, it is. A bit sticky, not a lot of breeze now. And as long as it doesn't rain, we hopefully get through this second innings of play. And that slip very deep and very narrow too. You can just see on your screen there.
Ellis is with Weaver again. It's a fuller ball, and Weaver's hit this high over long off. It's a wonderful shot, and it's all the way into the fence and into the seats for 6 runs over extra cover. What an incredible shot from Matthew Weaver. Gave himself a little bit of space, got it right out of the screws, and that goes to the long boundary out there at extra cover in front of the Chapel stand. 6 runs. Laurie Colliver, what an incredible shot.
This is how he plays, Matty Weaver. Gets on with the job. 2020 cricket's right up his alley. He's a big hitter. That was a magnificent strike over wide, long off. Perhaps not quite as far as Ben Joaquim's shot earlier in the day, but very effective and really puts the bowler on the back foot now. I think the ball's probably damaged as well. Umpire having a quick look, but hands it back quickly to Ben Ellis. So Gully's on the front foot early. A 4 and a 6 in this over, already on 13. Last ball coming up at the opening over.
Weaver with momentum. He waits for Ellis. He's past umpire Sheridan. Bob's full, and this is driven hard, and there's an appeal for a run out, and it's been given out. So Eloise Sheridan has given it out. Matthew Weaver looks to be extremely disappointed. I'm not sure what's happening there. Both the others are right in. The umpire has definitely signalled out. The batter is going back to the strike end. Of course, it was driven hard. It looked like it might have caught a tiny bit of the toe of the uni player. Gee, it must have been close whether it was out or not out. But Eloise Sheridan has signalled out there, much to the disappointment of the T-Tree Gully batter who thought he might have been back.
Well, clearly it hit Ben Ellis's foot, and the umpire took her time, Like to see perhaps that angle of that run out if it's possible. But Joe Gadding's on his way. Let's have a look at it if he can slow it right down. So it hits the foot. The batsman's out of his ground, puts his bat down. And that's a terrible decision. I've got to say, I don't want to pick on the umpire at all, but that's a shocker. And I can see why Matt Weaver whacked his bat on his pad. He was probably amazed that decision was given. But the umpire did have a long look at it. But the batsman's on his way. Patrick Page comes out. What a dramatic first over. 13 runs, a massive 6 by Weaver over long off. And now Page, the captain, comes in. Cock-a-hoop. Bit of luck there, but you need a bit of luck to win some of these finals.
If you're the coach of the T20 Gully side, you'd actually have to say that Joe Gadding didn't do much of a job of backing up there, but he was pretty comfortably in. Eloise Sheridan, very difficult to make that decision from so far behind the stumps, and when you don't, you're not blessed with the ability to refer that decision to a third umpire, well, you've just got to make the call on the spot. She made the call on the spot. Probably looks like that Joe Gadding a little bit unlucky there, but it's a massive wicket for Adelaide University. The first of the T20 Gully wickets to fall. It's a run out, a lucky run out off the boot of the bowler Ben Ellis onto the stumps. And Joe Gadding is gone. They're 1 for 13, T20 Gully.
So we're going to see spin for the second over, Sam Kerber, who only got the 3 wickets this year, but his economy rate's been very good, 5.75. So T20 Gully batsmen are going to have to make the pace on the ball here. Patrick Page is going to be on strike, and so far this season, 112 runs in the West End T20, striking at only 114, but has had a couple of good innings of late. 63 in the quarterfinal off 51 balls against West Torrens, and 32 in the semi off 25 against the Bays. He's going to face the first ball from Kerber,
who's with him now from the cathedral end of Adelaide Oval. It's a fuller ball and just turned comfortably into the leg side to pick up 1 run. So Page is underway. No relation to Paul Page, is Patrick Page. Jimmy Page.
Shane, our camo, getting a bit excited out here.
Sam Kerber, originally from Western Australia. Western Victoria, I beg your pardon.
So the field changing around. What's Weaver's approach going to be here? With a 4-over power play, I think he'll keep going. They've got a man at long off, reasonably wide, a man at deep mid-wicket. I think he's spot straight back over the bowler's head from what we've seen so far. And he'll be looking to get that Gully score up and running pretty quickly with plenty of batting talent in the shed. It'll be interesting to see what he does first up here against the slow left armour. He's
around the wicket, Sam Kerber, and he looks to cut this. Won't beat the man at short backward point. So 1 for 14 after 8 deliveries. T20 Gully.
Plenty happening here, Hoogie.
Matt Weaver with a 4 and a 6 in the opening over. A controversial run out to finish the opening over, which saw the end of Joe Gadding. Lovely shot from Matthew Weaver out over cover, and it's 6. Is it 6 runs? Could be 4, could be 6. We're just going to wait to get confirmation. It was beautifully played over cover. There looks to be a signal of 4, and that's the adjudication from umpire Bruce Stribley. So beautifully played by Matty Weaver. No man out there on the cover boundary. He gave himself room, hit with the spin. It landed just inside the boundary rope. 4 more runs, and Matty Weaver is away here, Loz. Kerber's with him again, and this one they'll pick up. Looks to be a leg by. Just trickling behind square on the leg side. They'll pick up 1 run. It is a leg by. And that brings Page back on strike.
So I'll be quite happy bowling to Page here at the moment, the way Weaver's going about things. Strike rate in excess of 200.
Reminds me of another former T20 Gully player, Gary Wright, who had an ability to hit the ball very well over the offside field.
Yeah, he could go over cover, righty. Haven't seen him here today. Former at a few clubs.
Kerber over the wicket to the left-handed Page, who defends this into the offside, won't pick up a run.
Good quicker ball there from Kerber. Under pressure early in the over. Performed well there to just dot up Page there. But there's no great rush here for the Gullies. They only need just over 6 runs per over to win this game, and a little bit less now after that early onslaught from Weaver.
Past umpire Stribley, and that Patrick Page has smashed that into the grandstand for 6. Down on one knee, across the line, over the boundary at mid-wicket, and into the seats in the Jack Oatey stand. Wonderful batting from Patrick Page, and T20 Gully are absolutely making the most of this abbreviated 4-over power play. They move on to 1 for 25.
Yeah, nicely played by Page there. The slog sweep Gully's really trying to get this target down in the power play. Just got a note from Neil Ricketts too, state scorer, to let me know the DLS target would have been 118, which I think would be a little bit fairer. But they are the playing conditions, so that's what we've got to deal with. And with Gully's off to such a good start, 118 wouldn't be a lot more to chase, to be honest.
And unfortunately, no point arguing about the rules now.
No, that's right. No, get on with the game. Do your best to defend the target. Change of bowling coming up here. Luke Crocker's coming into the attack. Is he from the River End? He's pretty steady with the ball. Played in all the games so far for Uni. Got 2 for 21 in the semi against Port Adelaide off 3 overs. 5 wickets in the competition this season. And a pretty decent economy rate of 7.56. And he's having a long discussion with his captain, Ben Wakeem, about what sort of field he's going to set for Weaver. Still only allowed 2 men outside the circle, so mid-on is going to go back. Mid-off is still up at the moment. Cover's coming in from the boundary.
And deep square leg, Laurie.
And a man just behind our cameraman Shane at deep square leg. So that mid-off is there. If he wants to have a crack at it, we'll find out from this first delivery.
So it's Crocker running into bowl from the Riverbank stand end, and this is smashed out through covers for 4 by Weaver. Lovely batting from Matthew Weaver. The experienced all-rounder for T20 Gully. Again, he gave himself room. He made the offside his friend. It's a long boundary out in front of the chapel stand, but 4 more runs to Weaver. Beautiful batting.
Yeah, it made room. It was obvious his intention with the field up was going to be going through that sort of cover mid-off area. They're going to keep the field up, though. They're backing the bowler here, Uni. It may pay off for them, but Weaver at the moment on fire. 19 off just 8 deliveries with 3 fours and a big 6.
Crocker's past umpire Sheridan. This is a good ball. Didn't give him any room to move. A little slower ball. Just a little off-spinner out the front of the hand there. And Weaver just defending it into the offside.
Yeah, well, dot ball's a good ball here at the moment for the Uni attack. That target down to just 78 runs required. And there's plenty of overs at the moment, 13.4. And Uni are just going to have to bowl their absolute bollocks off here.
They're going to need to find a wicket, Laurie.
I want to get to that 4 over power play with not many more than 40 on the board, but the way Weaver's going here, it's pretty dangerous stuff for him at the moment.
Crocker's with him again. And this one's hit down towards long on. There'll just be the single here. The 2 batters trot through.
Thing is too, Hooky, in this situation, with a bit of rain about and a bit of nervousness in the camp, you're chasing a target. 1 wicket can cause problems, and Weaver is building the suitcase at him at the moment, but if he happened to get out here and hold out to one of the men in the deep or hits one to one of the fielders on the circle, then a new batsman's got to come in and try and keep the score moving straight away, and the overs can tick by. We saw it in the Uni innings. They lost the wicket of Wakeem, and those next couple of overs from Nottle and Hutchison were very, very good. So you get a wicket, get the score to about 2 for 40 off 5 overs, and Uni be back in the game. But
conversely, as we all know, when you're chasing a small target and one batter can just completely take the wind out of the opposition's sails over the course of the first 5 or 6 overs, it makes it very, very difficult with momentum against you for the fielding side to fight back. But they're still in this game at the moment. Crocker will run in a bowl to the left-handed Patrick Page, and this is short and just defended into the leg side. Good bit of fielding off his own bowling from Crocker. Got around to his left, no run.
Good recovery in this over from Crocker after a powerful boundary off the first delivery. A dot, a single and a dot since. But Gully's already well over 10 and over, chasing basically a bit over 6.5 overall. So they're well on top of the target at the moment.
Yeah, Luke Crocker's a great family history that we'll talk about very quickly with the Blacks. Very fit, very athletic, and he comes again. He bowls to Page, who defends this to mid-on. There'll be no addition to the score. A very hard trainer, athletic, just like you, Laurie. Gets a lot of Ks in the legs. His father, Tojo, life member at Adelaide University, and his uncle, Mojo, as well. Tojo and Mojo Crocker, they're both in the crowd with us today, Loz. Good
to hear. There's about, 200 or 300 spectators here, which is good. Last ball of the over coming up. So he's done well in this over so far, just the 5 conceded.
That one's down the leg side, and Eloise Sheridan agrees that it is a little bit too wide down the leg side, and it's signalled a wide. Luke Crocker, the brother of Matty Crocker, Sturt premiership player, Mighty Double Blues.
Any relation to Barry Crocker while we're talking Crockers? Or saying at the 77 VFL Grand Final, Baz?
Dual premiership footballer.
So 1 ball to go in this
over.
Sandful,
Matty Crocker.
Sorry, Hookie. 1 ball to go in this over with the wide.
Angled run up, in close to the stumps. Turns this behind square on the leg side, Page. Can't beat the man at short fine leg. No run. That's the end of the over, as Eloise Sheridan tells us. And at the end of 3 overs, Adelaide University in defence, because T20 Gully are 1 for 31.
Well, it could have been a Barry Crocker of an over, a real shocker, but he got out of it well with just the boundary off the first delivery and just the one run off the bat and the wide for the rest of that third over. So Uni just trying to peg things back here. Last over the power play coming up. Weaver already 4 boundaries off his heavy blade. Page 7 off 6. Just needs to keep pushing the singles, and this is an important over for Uni. They've got to get through this power play. They need to get a wicket for a start, but they don't want to concede too many boundaries. Long off his back, which I think is a good idea for Matt Weaver, and the other man out is at deep mid-wicket. Kerber to bowl the 4th.
So he's been a 360 player so far, Weaver, and this is no different. He's gone straight down the ground. He's hit it hard. Hasn't hit it all that long. Was quite high. They'll pick up 2 runs. It was more the wedge than the 7-iron that he was looking for. And got a bit of suck back. Of course, the Women's Australian Open going on at Kooyonga. That was reminiscent of some of the beautiful wedges that those girls play. And 2 more runs to Matty Weaver, moves the total to 33.
And Page just slipping as well, trying to complete the second. Didn't get that at all, but his intentions are clear with the power play in its last over.
Left arm around the wicket, and he looks to hit this out over the offside, and he's done it yet again. And that is into the grandstand for 6 more runs. Wonderful batting from Matthew Weaver. Gave himself the space, and he has made that shot his own. And with the short boundary there on the outer or eastern side of Adelaide Oval, that was pitching on middle, straightening up, spinning towards middle and off, but no trouble for Matthew Weaver. Just launched that out in front of the Gavin Wanganeen stand and picks up 6 runs.
Yeah, went every bit of about 65, 70 metres there. Brilliant batting from the Gully veteran. Absolutely smashed that one. And it's not easy for bowlers with that short boundary, but that one cleared it by probably 10 metres. And the Gully's looking to make as shorter work as possible of this target. They're having a look at the ball now. It'd be not only a little bit on the wet side, but probably have a little chunk taken out of it too, having landed on either one of the seats or the concrete out there. But magnificent batting here. He knows exactly what he's trying to do. His second 6. He's only faced 12 balls, and he shapes up again to face the left-arm spinner.
So his left arm around the wicket. Kerben, this is a faster ball. He looks to cut this, and there'll be runs here. Fine of the man at short third man. And it's Beattie does the fielding. Restricts it to just 2, but Matty Weaver has this game under control at the moment. T20 Gully 1 for 41.
Yeah, pretty deft shot there. Used the pace of the ball nicely. Beat the fielder at short third man, Chris Beattie, and easy couple for Weaver, who's still striking at 200 strike rate.
Kerber darts this one in again. Again, it's cut. This time it won't beat Beattie, the left armour. Fielding there at backward point.
So they've got this target down to 65 at basically a run of ball now, or under a run of ball, and they really should cruise home from here. But Uni, a quick wicket here could change everything.
Kerber, this one's pushed through, and this is launched out over long on. There's going to be runs. There's at least 2 of them. The ball is checked up, and it's pulled up short of the boundary line. So again, just a soft green out there at long on, the northwestern corner of the ground. The ball pulled up, and they've only run the 2. So a good bit of fielding there from Harms.
Important ball this now. Weaver's, will he go again, or will he just be happy to take 1? Mid-on's going back. Long off is there. Does he just take the 1, or does he want to really smash this over and finish up with a really big over? They've got 12 so far. They don't really need to take a big risk off this last ball of the power play.
What will Kerber give him? That's probably the big question. Oh, and he's played this out over extra cover again, and it's 4 more runs. So Matthew Weaver, he's been exceptional in this power play. He moves on to 36 runs from just 16 balls. It's been exquisite batting in just 4 overs, and T20 Gully chasing 107 for victory at the end of 4 overs, a 1 for 47.
Yeah, great stuff from Matty Weaver. He wasn't content with just getting a single there. Went over the infield, smashed it over extra cover. He's made 36 off 15 balls in the power play. Dominated the strike. Faced all but 9 deliveries in that period. And the Gullies well on their way at the moment here. They need 60 off a dozen overs, which for a side of their skill you'd think they'd be able to achieve. Uni, you've got to find a way to get a wicket here. And there you go, Weaver, 36 off 16 on the bottom left there. Page hasn't faced many deliveries since he's been in there. And we may see another change of bowling as we get a little bit more sawdust applied on the pitch here at Adelaide Oval.
So, yeah, Matthew Weaver single-handedly taking this game away from Adelaide University, who batted first here at the Adelaide Oval, and after a bit of a rickety start, they were 2 for 6. And then there was an excellent partnership between Kerber and Ben Wakeem. TTG Gully did manage to restrict the run scoring towards the end of the innings. The rain hit, the umpires took the players off, and it was just 16 overs allowed. And of course, TTG Gully doing a great job here. Laurie Colliver, I think you've got a score from the Sheffield Shield game between South Australia and New South Wales.
Yeah, just while we're waiting for the 5th over, New South Wales 9 for 213, a lead of 188. So the Redbacks right in the mix in that game up at the SCG. They've only won twice in the last 18 years up there.
Might check Nick Winter's figures if you could, please, mate.
Yeah, 10 for the game. 5 for 61. Outstanding performance. Started at the Gullies, now at uni. Doing a great job for both clubs when he's played for them. Good lad. And what a start to his first-class career. 15 wickets in 2 games. And it's going to be Beattie to bowl the first over out of the power play. And immediately we see 4 boundary sweepers. And they're going to just have 3 on the offside. Fine leg's going to swing across, or they're just going to swap. You can just see at the top of your screen there. Fielders swapping positions. So they're going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside the circle. A third man, a deep cover, a long on, and a deep square leg. In fact, New South Wales now all out 2-13. Redbacks 189 to win.
Beattie with Page, and this one's turned into the leg side. Brilliant bit of fielding there. Moving to his right, Wakeem did a good job to knock that down. Would have been a fairly straightforward single with the man at long on. Knocked it down, no score.
And Daniel Worrell finished with 4 for 55. He got the last wicket. So Redbacks game there for them to win. They got to win to stay in the hunt to make the Shield final.
Left arm over the wicket, Beattie. Bowls to Page. It's on his thigh pad. Couldn't get bat on it.
So good start the over here.
Tidying up. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, good over. A good start the over here from Beattie. But there's no pressure on really the Gullies at the moment. Just got to keep pushing it into the gaps, getting the singles. Run rate of 5 and over required. Uni just got to try and get a wicket somehow, hoping for batsman error at the moment.
Good country stock, Beattie, from Whyalla. This is short and turned away behind square on the leg side. There'll probably be a couple here. Page has just found the gap. Back he comes for 2 from the Iron Triangle. Good working class part of South Australia.
Yeah, well, plenty of good country players around the Adelaide grade comp. Plenty of Darwin lads as well. A couple in the uni side today. And Jake Weatherald obviously as well, who's not here today.
Beattie again, bowls to Page. There's a big appeal. And umpire Eloise Sheridan, after giving it some long, hard thought, decided that ball was just going to shape a little bit down the leg side. It was a good piece of bowling from Beattie. Went a little bit wider on the crease. Took him higher on the pad, maybe just shading down the leg side. Maybe it was going to catch a little bit of leg stump. Probably a pretty good decision, really, from Sheridan. It'd be hard to argue with that. Certainly wasn't plumb. And but Page gets a life. He's on 9. Weaver on 36. TTG Gully 1 for 49. We're in the 5th over of the grand final here, the West End T20 South Australian Cricket Association competition. Page has gone for the lap shot, which was well taken by Crocker. Burgess, I beg your pardon, the wicketkeeper.
Didn't lift his foot, Page. Did it well there. I think you'll see on the replay in a sec. He dragged his back foot to stay in the crease. And, foot down. Did well. Didn't lift it at all. Good keeping there. Good sharp work standing up to the medium pacer. And this has been a good over from Beattie so far. Just the one scoring shot. Page doesn't need to play shots like that with such a small target to chase.
Chris Beattie, full ball. Page drives it. Won't beat the man at mid-off, which is Salt. And that is the end of the over. Pretty good over from Beattie. Just the 2 runs from it. TTG Gully 1 for 49 after 5.
And comfortably the best over of the innings for Uni. No boundaries. There's the story of the innings so far. Getting out, perhaps unluckily, at the non-striker's end. And Weaver's dominated the innings. He's going to be on strike for this 6th over. Will he change his tactics with more than just the 2 allowed outside the circle? Poor old Kerber's copped a hiding. 2 overs for 27. Of course, with the change in the playing conditions, 1 bowler can bowl 4 overs and 4 bowlers can bowl 3 overs. So Kerber technically has only got to bowl 1 more over.
11 overs remaining, 58 runs required for the victory for TTG Gully. University are going to have to work out a way of trying to dismiss Matthew Weaver before he completely takes this game away. I can't imagine he's going to be content with just pushing ones and twos. I think he's going to be looking to try and find the boundary and just keep the momentum rolling here.
Well, mid-off's up, and that's where he's hit quite a number of shots already. So they're taking him on. Will Weaver go again? 6th over about to get underway. Luke Crocker's going to have a change of ends. He bowled his first over from our end, the River or City end. Copped a bit of... Actually, bowled all right, actually, first over. Went for boundary first ball and then finished up with 6 off as he bowls to Weaver. Weaver goes to pull out behind square leg. Fielding down there by James McCollum, the Northern Ireland lad, and a good throw in, and only get the 1.
So the change of ends for Crocker began... Bowled his first over from the southern or Riverbank City or River end
of options
Adelaide
there.
Oval. You get a few choices. And now he's bowling from the scoreboard Cathedral or northern end of the Adelaide Oval.
So they've tightened up Page since he hit that 6 off his third ball. He's only scored off one of his last 9 deliveries. So they've really got to just try and apply a little bit of pressure, make him hit over the top here. The young Gullies captain.
Good test of his temperament here, isn't it? He knows he's got a man up the other end who's doing the damage on the scoreboard. All he needs to do is just stay calm, find his ones when he can get them.
5 inside the circle. Long on back. Forward square leg back and long leg back on the leg side with a deep point. So he's facing Crocker. And that's beautifully played down towards deep back with square leg and well fielded down on the rope there. Peter Wilson moving quickly to his right. Did well. Being a left-handed throw, and they just got the 1.
Yeah, it was well done. He got around to his right very quickly, Wilson. It was nicely played by Page. He rocked onto the back foot.
So 1 for 51. The Gullies nearly halfway to their target of 107. Mid-off still up. Cover still up. Long on back. Crocker in. Gets that up and over, down towards third man. Will it carry just short of the field of Beattie? For a moment, I think Wilson, for a moment, Weaver's heart was in his mouth, and the ball just falling short of the fielder.
He gave himself a lot of room there, Laurie. He's still looking to open up the offside of the field. And the cut shot from the short ball that he got from Crocker nearly carried to third man. Gee, wouldn't that have changed the complexion of this game if they could have got Weaver?
I was surprised he didn't actually attack the stumps there, Crocker, when he knew that Weaver was going to go and make some room. More of that in a sec. Page won't get a run. Wants a run. There's a mix-up. There could be a run out. Direct hit misses. They go to the bowler's end. It hits Page. Is there appeal for obstructing the field? What drama here off that delivery. Any of 2 or 3 results possible. Page is saying, I couldn't help it. And I don't think the umpires are going to give it out obstructing the field. Here's the replay. Work to the leg side. Mix up from Page. Weaver went. It was going to be Weaver who was run out. Then the throw strikes Page. He would have been run out by 3 or 4 metres. The umpires are having a discussion. And the decision is 1 run.
And not out. That's right. In fact, actually, credit to Luke Crocker. I did see him pat Patrick Page on the shoulder as if to say, we know full well that you did not get deliberately in the way of that ball. That was just a comedy of errors, though, wasn't it? 2 shots at the stumps. 1 missed. The other one hit the batter, who was stranded in the middle of the pitch. The 2 of them had a conversation for a period of time there in the middle of the Adelaide Oval. Probably reasonable to do at the end of the over, not in the middle of a ball. How they both survived is beyond me. They could have both comfortably been run out, but they both survived. There's 1 run added to the total.
Well, goodness me. So what's Weaver do here? He's 38 not out. He's played very powerful innings so far. Crocker doing a good job. Over cover. Out to the man in the deep. Just the 1. Martin out there, one of the NT boys in this uni side. So picket fence so far in this over, Hookie. 5 singles. Doesn't tell the full story, though, does it?
No. You would just think this is a fairly boring, uneventful over. But we've had 3 run-out chances, and that was between the 4th and the 5th delivery.
Time stood still, that run-out. It was just unbelievable. It was anything was going to happen. Run-outs at both ends and obstructing the field. I mean, goodness me. Last ball, the over. And it's hit in the air, safely enough, down to deepish mid on.
Kerber, the fielder.
Kerber's down there. So 6 off the over, 1 for 55 off 6 overs. The Gullies needing 52 more runs to win with 10 overs left in the game. Dominant performance so far from Matt Weaver, and a bit of comedy in that over with both batsmen quite possibly being run out.
And in particular, when you think about the only wicket of the T20 Gully innings, which was Joe Gadding, as we can see there on screen, run out by Ellis, which was one of the more freakish run-outs that you can possibly imagine in a game of cricket, off the bowler's boot and the follow-through and onto the stumps. And Eloise Sheridan, the umpire here at the southern end of Adelaide Oval, adjudged that to have struck the stumps when Joe Gadding's bat hadn't made its ground. Replay suggesting it was a very close call. Maybe Joe had just beaten the throw, or not the throw, the ball in time.
So Beattie's going to continue. Keeper standing up. Page on strike. Partnership worth 42 in 5 overs from these two. Not sure if that's the batting order to come. Tim Davey listed at number 9. Might be a bit higher than that as we watch Beattie. And that beats him. Does it take the top of the off stump? It does. He's bowled him. So University get a much-needed wicket in the 7th over. Page just playing down the wrong line. The ball perhaps just moving a fraction away. And Beattie has a wicket for
What
Uni.
a remarkable delivery that was, Laurie. It pitched on off, and it looked for everything that it was just going to, on the angle, slant back into about middle and off, which was the line that Page played. It straightened up ever so slightly, just did enough to bypass the edge of Page's bat. It careered into the off stump. Beattie was absolutely jubilant, as he should be. The second T20 Gully wicket to fall. It's 2 for 55.
There's a look at it from side on, just clipping the top of the off stump as Adam Summerfield heads out to bat for T20 Gully. He's had one very dominant innings in the competition this season, 46 off 23 deliveries in the quarterfinal at West Torrens, a match which T20 Gully won by 27 runs, and striking at 170 this season for the Gullies. Small sample, but he is another player that likes to get on with it for the Gullies. So much needed wicket for Uni, and Captain Ben Wakeem there just standing next to the keeper, moving the field around.
A little bit more attacking now, Laurie, by the looks.
Well, they've got to get wickets, don't they, Hookie? I mean, they can't just expect to bowl the 16 overs and restrict T20 Gully that way. They've got to try and get some poles. 5 inside the circle.
Wakeem looks like he's going to come up into slip. And if Beattie can get that ball wobbling around like he did for that last delivery to Page, it will just put a little bit of pressure.
Lovely delivery, just straightened ever so slightly. So the slip stays in. So 6 inside the circle for Adam Summerfield facing Beattie. And this first delivery is edged away down through third man. That'll probably race away to the right. The outfield's not that quick. It's just going to pull up inside, and they should come back comfortably for 3. No thought of running 4 there. So Summerfield off the mark straight away, and the Gullies now up to 2 for 58 in the 7th.
Yeah, always the way, isn't it? You bring the field up, prepared to try and look for the wicket, and give up the deep areas of the ground, and a thickish edge. First ball off Summerfield finds that gap between slip and gully, and they pick up 3 pretty comfortable runs. So
Weaver's approach here will be interesting with the wicket having just fallen and the run rate required under 5. Does he need to keep trying to belt the ball out the park, or just push ones and get there comfortably? Plenty of field changes going on at the moment, and they're going for 6 inside the circle again, Uni, which is good tactics, I think. It does offer, in fact, just the 5. I mistook the bowler for a fielder. Anyway, here he comes, Beattie, bowling to Weaver. And Weaver gets that one fine. Oh, good bit of fielding at short. Third man, Peter Wilson. We've seen him in the field a couple of times today do well, and he saved at least a couple of runs there with a good diving stop. Yeah, Aqua playing nicely there, the fielder. And that one beats the outside edge. Good bit of bowling. Angled away. Doing good job here, Beattie, in this over. The wicket of Page. And then he beats the outside edge of Summerfield's bat. Let's have another look at it with Ben Hook.
Yeah, Chris Beattie. So the ball that he got Patrick Page with, I reckon it straightened and went a little bit towards, well, it was like the traditional left armer's outswing. That one definitely slanting across the right-hander and going away from him. So got the ball going both ways a little bit at the moment, Chris Beattie, the boy from Whyalla. He's certainly looking the part. He's a threat here at the moment. T20 Galley still well on top.
Well,
that Beattie trying to fight back.
That bit of rain might have just juiced up the wicket a fraction that we've seen, as you said, in that over. The ball that beat Page appeared to seam away a little bit, and that one definitely moved away from Summerfield off the pitch. And Matt Weaver making batting look pretty easy with his 40 off 20, but the other end, it's a bit of a different story at the moment. Fine leg going back onto the rope. Third man coming up. You can see, just coming into the circle. Great work by Shane, our cameraman, to give you all the field changes as they happen. So the Gullies 259 in the 7th, target of 107. And right on line, good ball from Beattie. So some good cricket here at the moment. Both sides doing well after a rampaging start from the Gullies in the power play, which yielded 47.
Yeah, you've got the sense that Beattie's just got the measure at the moment. And I think T20 Galley are probably starting to feel now, after a wicket and a couple of dot balls, that just trying to get through his bowling spell with a minimum of damage is going to be the best solution with this small target still to chase.
Summerfield defends that one. Good finish to the over from the bowler. A wicket in there with 3 dots as well. On top of that, 4 runs from the over. Beattie, 2 overs, 1 for 6, doing a good job keeping his side in the game. He's bowled 9 dot balls so far, and there's the Gullies tally. After 7 overs, 259. 47 to win. They're ahead of the run rate. Their required rate now just 3.7. And if this was a 50-over game and you needed 48 off 9 overs with 8 wickets in hand, you'd think you're immoral. But T20, it's a funny game at times.
It is, and we've seen in Crocker at this end and Beattie at the other that they've just started to get on top of the batting. It's not significant, but they've got a wicket. They're slowing down the run rate just that little bit. We saw the same happen with the Adelaide University innings, that in the second half it did get a little bit harder to score. So maybe with this ball swinging around a little bit, Adelaide Uni an outside chance.
Crocker, short, belted away by Weaver, backward of square leg. And they'll just get the single there. The Irishman, McCollum, does a good job. Weaver's lost a bit of strike too, Hooky, in the last couple of overs. He'd faced 36 off 16 to the end of the 4-over power play, but since then he's only faced the 5 deliveries. He's scored a single off each of them. But Uni just managing, whether by luck or any other means, to get him off strike. And he can't score it a strike rate of 200 when he's not facing.
No, that's entirely correct. And that is a bit of an art to keeping the batter you don't want on strike away from it. So University have done that pretty well in the last 3 or 4 overs.
So a slip in for the new batsman, Summerfield. Good idea. A little bit of nip in the pitch at the moment. The odd ball moving off the seam. Crocker doing a pretty good job here. 2.1 overs, none for 13. Summerfield in strike, and he just drops it, and he'll get a run. Good call from Weaver. Easy single there, and that's all Summerfield's really got to do. That's all either of them have got to do really at the moment. Plenty of singles available.
Good batting from Summerfield with the packed offside field. Found a way to turn the strike over, get Weaver back on strike with a minimum of fuss.
So no slip for Weaver. You'd almost be inclined to keep the slip in just for a short period of time. Down off the inside edge. 1, maybe 2. No, they're only going to run the 1. Good fielding out there by Phil Salt. Quickly into the ball. And just the 1 to Weaver. Moves along to 42 off just 22 deliveries. And
aggressive from Weaver again, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's how he wants to play. Can't blame him. It's worked so far, Ben. It's certainly his way to play, isn't it?
Looking to hit that in the direction of the beautiful old scoreboard here at the Adelaide Oval. Shanked that out to the leg side, picked up 1. Continues to turn over the strike, continues to look to be a threat. 3
singles in this over so far. Crocker just wanting a slight change in the field. And happily the rain still staying away here, even though there's a bit of it on the radar. Summerfield punches that one to backward point. Finds the fielder Kerber there, who we saw earlier bowl a couple of overs from the far end.
Really good bowling from Crocker. tied in against the stumps, giving Summerfield no space to work with. He's another one of the T20 Gully players who likes to get on with the game, and Crocker doing a good job of tying him up, just giving him no room to swing his arms.
Crocker again. Hooked in the air, down to long leg. Ball race away. There's no fielder down there. They'll get at least 2, probably 3. The ball's going to stop, in fact. Salt down there does the fielding. So Summerfield dealing with that short ball very well. 3 runs down to long leg, and the Gullies get closer. They
do. 2 for 65. So just 42 now needed for victory, and they have... What have we got? We've got about a bit over 8 overs remaining. 8 overs and 1 ball still to come.
So Weaver in strike for the last ball this over.
So the problem that Joaquim has got trying to defend Weaver is that he knows that there's no boundary he doesn't like the look of. He's happy to hit the ball over cover. He's happy to hit it straight. And there's a big gap left as a result out over mid-wicket.
Oh, well bowled. Good delivery. Yorker. Haven't seen too many of them in the innings so far. And they keep Weaver up that end. So pretty good over there from Crocker. 6 runs off it. T20 Gully 2 for 65. Overall target of 107 to win this West End T20 Cup final. And there's the story of the innings so far. They've certainly done well since the power play uni. It was 1 for 47 after 4. Fought back pretty well. Wicket of Page to a good delivery from Beattie, who's bowled 2 very good overs so far at a cost of just 6 runs. And he's going to continue to bowl from the river end. So 2 for 65. Summerfield on strike. That slip's going a little bit wider. On the line of about 3rd slip.
3rd man's vacant, but yeah, the slip has moved around as Beattie runs and bowls to Summerfield, who smashes this back over his head, and it'll be down to the boundary for 4. Wonderful shot from Adam Summerfield. Controlled, straight back over the bowler's head. Perfect trajectory, and there was no chance of any fielder getting it anywhere near that. Lovely shot. 4 runs. Beattie's back in and bowls to Summerfield, who is forward and defending this ball. A little bit shorter of a length there from Beattie after the fuller ball was dispatched straight back over his head. Just 38 runs needed to win now for the Gullies. Weaver's on 42. Summerfield just starting to find his range now. 11 runs off 9 balls.
Now, good calm batting from Summerfield here at the moment. Looked a bit nervy early, but he's got his bearings about him now.
Bowls the full ball, and this is back over his head again. It's 1 bounce, and it's over the boundary line. So 2 boundaries in 3 deliveries from Adam Summerfield. He's getting into the Weaver party. T20 Gully 2 for 73. Summerfield moves on to 15. It is Laurie. Yeah, getting the thumbs up from you, which is always appreciative, mate, because you are the man following the scores. So not back to back, but 2 boundaries in 3 balls from Summerfield. 15 runs off 10 balls. Yeah, Chris Beattie, who looked a threat last over, suddenly they've got on top of him.
He's bowled a fraction full in this over. Good power from Summerfield, 15 off 10.
Beattie's with him again, a little bit wider outside the line of the off stump. Look to use the width to work it through the offside. Won't beat Kerber.
It's always a risk in this form of the game to just bowl your bowler that 1 over too many. Now, Beattie was doing a good job, and it was, he's probably their best bowler so far. But just it's a big ask in 2020 to bowl that 3rd over on the trot. And Summerfield's sort of worked him out and taken full advantage a couple of times in the over so far.
Yeah, you're right, as Beattie runs in again and bowls to Summerfield, and this one he finds the gap out through cover point. The sweeper will do the tidying up there. University didn't really have an option, though. They couldn't save him up and bring him back later on. They just don't have enough runs to defend, so they had to go with a man who looked for everything like he was the most likely to claim the wicket. But Summerfield's been up to it, taken 9 runs off the first 5 balls of this over.
Yeah, that's a very fair point, actually, Hookie, with only 40-odd runs in the shed at the start of this over. Uni really had to just try and push hard and get that 3rd wicket. But Summerfield up to the task in this over. 1 ball to go. Weaver, who's had no strike in the last 5 or 6 overs, to face.
Past umpire Sheridan is Beatty, and it's full and wideish outside the off stump, and umpire Sheridan signals that it is just that. So another run to the T-Tree Gully total, and Chris Beatty will have to reload. Yeah,
and it's not the ball that you want to bowl wide, the last ball of the over. You get to a point, I think, in these games where it's almost a relief. You've only got one more ball left to bowl. Now he's got another one to bowl. It's a bit of a nightmare. He's just got to respond to and try and get a dot ball somehow.
With the short boundary on the leg side, Weaver waits. This is a well-bowled ball. It was short of a length and swinging back into Matty Weaver, and he can only parry it to the man at short, third man. So that's the end of the over. Successful one for T-Tree Gully. They took 9 runs off it, plus the wide makes 10. Beatty 1 for 16. T-Tree Gully 2 for 75 with Weaver on 42 and Summerfield 16.
So 32 runs required, and there's 7 overs to go in the game. So the young leg spinner looks like he might come into the attack.
I think you're right, Laurie. Oscar.
So Chris Harms, we remember years ago, Hookie doing the coaching clinics, playing a few games for South Australia, bowling his offies and a very handy left-hand bat.
Nephew of Bradman medalist Tim Harms.
And I haven't seen this lad play, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes. He's under a bit of pressure here at the moment with the current game situation.
He replaced Luke Crocker, the brother of Sturt Premiership player Matthew Crocker, and he comes on as the cousin of, the Harms boy for Sturt is, it starts with a J, is it, should know.
Sorry, I can't help you there, Hookie.
But the Harms boys played in a couple of premierships for Sturt.
So number 35 with his shirt on there. And he looks every bit of his 17 years, doesn't he? And he looks like a young bloke. And let's see what he can do here for his side, who desperately need a wicket. Summerfield in that last over starting to get after the bowlers with a couple of boundaries. And Weaver, of course, have been tremendous so far, the veteran for T-Tree Gully on 42. But here's Harms bowling his leg spin.
And he's with Adam Summerfield. And this one's short and cut, and it'll beat the infield. They'll pick up 1 run.
What will Weaver do here? This will be very interesting. Will he be able to hold himself back? They're pretty close to the target. Will he try and whack a couple over cover? Mid-off's going back. We've got a deep extra cover. Cover inside the circle on the offside. Will Weaver look to unsettle the young man first up?
You think he'd love to be there at the end, but he'd also love to get this done very quickly as he comes forward and defends this, and Harms did a nice job fielding that in his follow-through.
Yeah, full ball. Probably quite hard for Weaver to get up and under that one.
Prince Alfred boy, young Harms. This one's down the leg side. Umpire Bruce Stribley signals are wide. So they'll pick up 1 more run, the Gullies. 1 run closer to the total. Brings it down to 30. Weaver waits. Harms is with him. Tosses this one up. Full toss. Just pick up the 1 run. Knocks that down to long off. And Matty Weaver looks like he's a man pretty content just to get the job done in his own time now.
His last 7 scoring shots all singles, so you can see the finish line for T-Tree Gully in this game.
50 in a final would be nice for him.
Absolutely.
Harms is now with Summerfield. And this is short and cut away, and they'll pick up just the 1 run. Didn't get all of it, but got enough to get it past the infield. They'll pick up 1 more run. T-Tree Gully moved to 2 for 79.
Nearly a buzzer there as well. The keeper having to jump up to stop the ball, but well backed up by Beatty at backward square leg there, prevented any extras. So he's done well here, Harms, in this over. Bowled pretty well.
Weaver waits. It's a foolish ball again. He's happy just to work this down to long on and pick up 1 more run. So they're doing it in singles at the moment, T-Tree Gully, and they can afford to as well because they only need 27 more runs to win, and they've got 6 overs and 1 ball remaining to chase those 28 runs.
Well, the young leggy, big ask for him in this situation. He's done pretty well. He'd just love to sneak through and get a wicket here. Put a bit of pressure on.
Tossed up to Summerfield's a wrong one. Nicely bowled. Well played by Summerfield, but no run. So a great first over from Harms in this, the West End T20 South Australian Cricket Association Grand Final between Adelaide University and T-Tree Gully, with Adelaide University 106 at the end of 16 overs, where their innings was called to a close due to rain. T-Tree Gully in reply 2 for 80 and going along very nice. As you can see there, getting out early, run out for 1. Page bowled by Beatty for 12, but since then Weaver, who got stuck into the Adelaide Uni bowling attack early, 44 off 27 deliveries, and Summerfield 18 off 15 balls, just playing a very good support role here. Beattie, the only man to have struck. Lovely ball to get past Patrick Page's outside edge and into off stump. The only successful wicket taker for the Blacks.
And recent winners of this competition, working backwards, West Torrens last summer, got the three-peat, got all up. Gullies in 15-16, Glenelg beat T20 Gully in 14-15, and then the previous 3 years T20 Gully winners in 11-12, 12-13, 13-14. Before that, Sturt in 10-11, Northern Districts in 9-10, and Port Adelaide in 08-09. Now, Chris Beattie's going to bowl his 4th over. It'll be the last he can bowl, and the last only bowler who can bowl 4 in this innings.
Bowls now, and Weaver can't beat the man at short third man. So nice bowling again from Beattie. He's done his job here, hasn't he? Under a lot of pressure. T20 Gully were rampaging, in particular Weaver, and he has been able to just wheel back the run rate a little bit. It may all be too little too late, but it's been a pretty impressive spell of bowling from Chris Beattie, boy from Whyalla. He's with Weaver again, and this was it was a wild swing, and it takes the inside edge of the bat, and they'll pick up a couple of runs with the ball off the inside edge, running down to fine leg. So 2 more runs to Matthew Weaver. He moves on to 46, ever closer to that 50, and it's 2 for 82.
Yeah, a bit of a dirty old mo, that one, off the inside edge down to fine leg.
You say that like you've never played one yourself, Loz.
Oh, did I? I know you're going to miscue a few if you swing as hard as Matt Weaver, that's for sure, but no, it's been a very good innings from him, and he's been a member of those successful Gully T20 performances, and he's got a few medals in the shed. He's trying to get the team over the line here. But Uni have had a great season in this comp. They're unbeaten, played some very good cricket, narrow win in the semi to get through against Port Adelaide. And really, I suppose what did hurt them was those first couple of overs where they were, or first 3 overs where they were 2 for 8. That did cause them a few problems. Burgess and Salt going pretty hard early, and some good bowling and catching by the Gullies put them in a good spot.
Weaver's waiting for Beattie now, and this one's hit hard to cover, and it's caught. It's been caught at short extra cover. Kerber, the left-hander, has done the work in the field at short extra cover, and so they have the wicket of Matthew Weaver. It's the key wicket. He goes for 46, and well, Adelaide University, just a flicker of hope remaining, Laurie Colliver.
Indeed, and a good catch there. Sharp catch taken at cover by Kerber. Brings to the end an innings from Matt Weaver. 46 from 30 deliveries, 4 fours and 2 sixes. Let's have another look at it on our side angle. Hit it pretty hard, straight to the fielder. Good catch. And Uni's still got a sniff here. They need another wicket pretty quickly, but a good performance there as Matt Weaver makes his way off the Adelaide Oval. Fine performance from him. And he's put the Gullies well on their way to victories. Tim Evans comes out, the T20 Gully veteran. He's played 3 innings in this competition this season. And a good man to have coming in at number 5 with really under a run of ball required for the Gullies with 33 balls left, 25 to win and 7 wickets in hand.
So Chris Beattie, well bowled, deserved that second wicket. The total for T20 Gully is ever diminishing, and it was never that big to start with. But if they can just keep finding a way to weasel out Gully batters, University will always remain a crummy chance over the next few overs of this game. 25 to win.
And a ring field in the offside, slip back in place.
33 balls. New batter in.
And Evans is quite strong square of the wicket. So they've got the man at point, man at backward point, short third man position, slip. And Beattie's got a couple of wickets. He's done his bit here, finishing up this over.
Evans waits. Beattie's with him now. And this is down the leg side, and it's going to be possibly wides. And I think it'll be 4 of them. It should get there. It is there now, and the umpire has signalled 4 wides. So you can't think of anything more costly than when you're only defending another 25 than 5 runs plus the ball to be re-bowled. That is a real shame, and it's a big bonus for the Gullies.
Well, he's done a good job, Beattie, in his spell, bowled particularly well, but he'd be very disappointed with that, and the Gullies get closer, 20 to win, 5.5 overs to go, and that was just bonus runs, unearned runs for T20 Gully in that situation. And the keeper probably
a
bit disappointed too, I guess.
Well, he was up to the stumps. It's always hard to get across to those balls. This is a better directed ball. And Evans is forward and defending it into the offside. There's no run. So it's 20 to win now after the 5 wides. Goes against the name of Chris Beattie, who was bowled really well here. Just a couple of balls remaining in his spell.
He's done a good job so far. Tried to get his team back into the game.
He's with Evans, and this is another good ball, and again it's defended into the offside for no run.
He's bowling to his field here with the 4 men and the ring on the offside as well as a slip. But that 5 wides really did take the pressure off T20 Gully. If they could have somehow dotted up Evans rather than giving up the 5 down leg side, they would have still had a little sniff with 5 overs to go. But
you just lose a bit of wiggle room, don't you, too, Laurie? It means that you can't just afford to give Summerfield a single, get him off strike and try and bowl at the new guy. You've got to get wickets at both ends now, as this ball's played down to 3rd man, and Evans is off the mark with a single. That's the end of the over, the end of Beattie's spell. Did a really good job, did Chris Beattie. 2 for 23. He's been the pick of the university bowlers so far. T20 Gully, 3 for 88.
Yeah, very good performance from the left-arm medium pacer. 16 dots, 4 overs, 2 for 24. Just the only ball he really earned, I think, in that spell was the 5 wides down the leg side. Very, very costly. Pointing to a new batsman at that particular point, and we might see a change of bowling here from the far end. Ben Ellis looks like he's going to come back into the attack. Just the 1 over for young Harms. Didn't disgrace himself, bowled well. In fact, is he going to bowl? Yes, he's going to have a bowl. So went for 13 off the first over. Weaver whacking him for 4 and 6 late in the over. He's going to come back and try and pick up a wicket for Uni, who don't have a lot of runs in the bank at the moment. 3 for 88, overall target of 107. And he's going to bowl to Tim Evans, who's a very experienced campaigner for T20 Gully.
And I don't need to tell you your T20 Gully historical statistics, Laurie. I'm sure you know these off by heart. But, of course, T20 Gully have won this competition a number of times, of course. They won it in 2012-13. They beat Adelaide University. They won it in 2015-16, beat Adelaide University. And they're well on the way to knocking over University in a grand final of the West End T20 competition for the 3rd time.
Well, the 2 best sides going around this season, if you look at the A-grade ladder, they're both pretty well clear in 1st and 2nd spot at the moment. They met each other earlier in the year in the 2-day comp. Uni were a bit too good on that occasion. And if Uni can have some players back in the finals, I know the Shield comp runs pretty late these days, but if the Redbacks aren't in the Shield final, I think the grand final of the grade might be the last weekend. So Weatherald, Menny and Nick Winter could well be available if they can. Yeah. So that's a long way off, though. Get through today first as Ellis comes in.
Around the wicket, and he's bowling to Evans, and he'll work this down to 3rd man and pick up 1 run.
So good batting from Evans there. 2 off 4. Just turning the strike over there nicely. And Summerfield in strike now, 18 off 15.
So it's Ellis running in from the northern end of Adelaide Oval. It was short and wide outside the line of the off stump, and Summerfield got a good piece of it. It's made it all the way to the boundary for 4. Wonderful shot from Adam Summerfield. It was a ball that he probably could have let go and maybe would have got a wide for, but he took full toll of the short wide delivery from Ellis, and it reached the boundary for 4 in front of the Foss Williams stand over on the eastern side of Adelaide Oval. Good batting, and it brings the total down to just 14 remaining to win.
Yeah, poor ball there, and he only just got the bottom of the bat to that, but with the short boundary, only about 55 metres. It was there through the gap and raced away. He's done a good job here, Summerfield, coming in at the fall of the 2nd wicket. They're not far away now. 2 or 3 lusty blows will get them across the line in this 2020 West End Cup final.
Field spread, 3 out in the deep on the leg side, and this will go out to the finest of those 3. at fine leg. And Summerfield picks up one more run as the return comes in. Wasn't the best throw. So 13 left to win for the Gullies to claim. How many titles is it, Laurie Culliver?
I think they've won 4 in the last 6 years. So this format of the game's been going 11 or 12 years now, maybe a year or two more, but they've been really the dominant team since the 2020 format came in the Sacca grade comp. They did have a hiccup against Prospect just before Christmas, but since then their form's been very, very good, and they're on their way to another success in this competition, which will make their coach Peter Sleep very, very happy, no doubt.
So Ben Ellis is around the wicket to the left-hander, and Evans has picked up a couple of runs here, got it over the cover point fielder. The slide comes in, there'll be 2 runs. So the target now just 11.
Yeah, good play from Evans there. The field was up, the offside field completely in the circle there, full and wide, and he just helped it over the top. Didn't have to hit the ball too hard, and did particularly well there. A few of the Spock boys watching on there. Nathan Woods, former Adelaide teammate of yours, I think. Hookie, you already got the pads on, ready to go for the next game as we watch Ellison again.
And this is driven by Evans and handily through the covers, so there'll be more runs here, be at least 2 of them. Oh, gee, the slide came from the university player. It was Salt, I think it was, who went the slide but got the stick instead. Just dug into the ground. I think you'll be able to see it here in the replay. Here he was chasing after it, went the slide, but the ground's a bit soft, and oh, gee, the knee just caught in the ground, and that can be, well, it can be very painful, but it also can be potentially a serious injury. So lucky, yes, Jason Gillespie,
hope he's
the
not watching.
coach of Sussex, would have had his heart in his mouth if he's watching. It looks like he's okay, and Ellis is running back into bowl to Evans again. Good ball, it's driven, nicely driven, but Ellis got a bit of that on the hand and the follow through, knocked it down, and there's no run. So that is the end of the over, the end of the 12th over. T-Tree Gully 3 for 98. They need just 10 runs remaining. Evans is on 6. Summerfield is on 23. Of course, the man who did all the damage was Matty Weaver, 46. And to take you home with ball-by-ball commentary, it'll be Laurie Culliver.
So Gullies, 4 overs to go to get 9. 10 runs off that last over. Some good batting there from Summerfield, and also the experience of Tim Evans. Plenty of batting left in the shed there. Experience of Brad Evans, also Tim Davey. Jack Holliday, the keeper, also very handy with the bat, as is Ben Hutchison, who we saw bowl quite well earlier. Kerber's going to come back on with his slow left arm bowling. Pretty expensive early. 2 overs for 27. His second over went for 16. So 9 to win. Gullies all but there in this West End final as the rain just starts to reappear ever so slightly.
Imagine that.
We've been lucky with the weather today, looking at the radar. That one smashed back, well fielded by the bowler. Good work there. He hit that really hard at Summerfield. So 9 runs for victory. 3.5 overs left, and that's a good delivery. Darted in. They want to run. Called through by Tim Evans. Good work from the Gully veteran.
We've had Luke from Adelaide University join us up here, just give us a bit of advice on a few of the uni players, and he reckons it's pouring out there and they've got to go off immediately.
Well, the bad news, son, is that they're behind on the over rate, so the run rate, so it wouldn't matter. You uni blokes no good at maths.
I think they'd make the argument that is the old rule. You've got to get as many, bowl as many as you've faced. Got to go past the score, otherwise it's a draw.
Good news for you, son. So 7 to win, 8 to win, in fact. Evans drives, nice shot, down through, mid-on. That'll race away to the boundary for 4. So one more of those away for the Gullies. The 100 comes up in the 13th over.
Torrential rain now, says Luke. Beautiful shot from Evans, wasn't it? Got down on the front foot. There's no man out deep behind the bowler. Kerber's throwing them up as he needs to do, trying to entice a wicket, but it's a wonderful shot from Evans. Didn't give, just kept it along the carpet. And it was hammered back past the bowler, down through the leg side, and it was 4 runs. Change in the field here. Short mid-on. Laurie.
Pretty well everyone up now, as you'd expect in this situation. One good hit away, T20 Gully. It's in the air. It's high towards mid-off. It won't be the winning hit. It'll be a good catch if he takes it, and he doesn't. It goes down. So the Northern Ireland lad, McCollum, can't hang on to it. It was a tough one. Let's have a look on the replay.
Yeah, that would have been an incredibly good catch. It was over his head. He was constantly trying to work out if he could back or run with the flight. He tried to turn his body around there, but it just got too big on him, got too far away. It was a valiant drive in the end. Laurie.
Full toss, hit down to mid-on. I was just going to say, if it was a Guinness, he probably would have caught it, the Irishman.
It was a valiant attempt. Unfortunate, but it means now that T20 Gully need just 2 to win.
Yeah, last ball of the over coming up. Still the field up. So Will Evans go for the glory hit. And away she goes. T20 Gully, champions of the 2020 once again. Tim Evans brings it up in style with a 6. And the Gullies are home with 7 wickets in hand and 3 overs to spare. Their 6th 2020 title. Magnificent shot by the veteran. It was up and away she went over long on. So T20 Gully are home. 5 T20 titles in the last 7 years. And they win comfortably in the end against Adelaide Uni in the final of the West End 2020 Cup.
Yeah, and they were probably a little bit the beneficiary of the bylaw, the playing conditions when the rain came, but T20 Gully have won this game comprehensively by 7 wickets. They had around about 15 balls to spare. I think, Laurie, you'll do the maths on that very shortly, but they were dominant, weren't they? Well, they had 18 balls remaining.
So you know,
a comfortable victory from T20 Gully, a richly deserved win.
Facing towards the
Adelaide University, they've been very good this season, but T20 Gully very, very strong in this format of the game. They've won the title 6 times now. Evans 18 not out, Summerfield 24 not out, T20 Gully 3 for 111. They've won the West End T20 South Australian Cricket Association Cup by 7 wickets.
Yeah, great performance from the Gullies. Perhaps favourites heading to the game with Uni not having their state players, but a very strong and experienced lineup. They had the one hiccup during the season, losing to Prospect. Responded after that with 3 very solid wins after Christmas. Uni, obviously, the real front runners in this competition this season with some excellent wins as well. We'll have a look at some of the highlights. Matty Weaver was strong early, a massive 6 over wide long off in the opening over. Really set the tone for the run chase. Went again over mid-off early in the piece. Crocker the victim there. And he was 36 off 16 balls in the power play. When you only have to chase a small target, and there's the run out earlier. I won't repeat what I said earlier about that, but some great batting, and with batting and run scoring coming from the other end, it was a pretty comfortable chase in the end.
Yeah, it was, Laurie, and impartial in your commentary, but we know you have a bit of a soft spot for T20 Gully. Will you get out to the bull ring this evening? Good old Purda Oval?
No. I may not come back.
They're very impressive, T20 Gully, and of course we're going to see plenty of these two sides as we close in on the West End Premier League Grand Finals as well. The premier competition, of course, here. First grade. Top 2 teams in the T20 competition, the top 2 teams as well in the first grade competition. So looking forward to possibly seeing these two in another grand final at the end of the year, Laurie.
Yeah, every chance. Some good batting there from Summerfield, who'll be part of the action as the season heads towards its conclusion in the main A grade competition. Some good shots there from him. Fairly experienced player now with the Gullies. And really, Uni, they were a little bit unlucky with the playing conditions. They could have got to 140, 150, having been 3 down for 106 when the rains came in the 16th over. But the Gullies, that task of chasing 107 was always well within their grasp. And after the powerful start in the power play, 1 for 47, they were always going to be right in the hunt to get the runs. There's the presentation area. We've got that coming up live to you on our live stream shortly. The players' medallions getting all sorted, players getting into position, and some very happy T20 Gully people there amongst the mix there with the Saka guys, Oliver there and Aaron Tuckwell.
Yep.
And the Uni boys, well, they'll be pleased with their season. The focus for them now will be clearly on the A-grade competition. A couple of rounds to go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
And here's the presentation with Aaron Tuckwell from the
Competitions
Saka
Department at the SA Cricket Association. I'd like to congratulate both Adelaide University and T20 Gully on making the West End T20 Cup Grand Final for this season. A round of applause, please, for both teams. Also like to take the opportunity to thank the dedicated volunteers that support both teams throughout the season. Without your help, we know these teams couldn't be here today. A round of applause to all our volunteers. And finally, our last thank you. A competition like this can't exist without the generous support of sponsors. We're very lucky that we have the ongoing support of Lion and their iconic brand West End. They couldn't have anyone here today, but the teams will be happy to know there's a carton of West End waiting for them in the change rooms. So thank you to Lion and West End. To present the awards this afternoon, I'd like to call forward Ian Graham, delegate to the Grade Cricket Committee. And Ian's going to help us with our first awards, which are to our 2 umpires. We'd like to thank them for officiating in today's match. Please come forward to accept the medal, Eloise Sheridan and Bruce Stribley.
So the umpires getting thanked and receiving medals for their efforts today. So Bruce Stribley and Eloise.
Thank you, Eloise,
Sheridan
and thank you, Bruce. Unfortunate on days like today where we look forward to getting out on Adelaide Oval for our one day of the year where the weather has had such an impact. Nevertheless, well done to Adelaide University. I'd now like to call forward their captain, Ben Wakeem, to say a few words.
So Ben Wakeem, the captain, batted very well earlier today, 61 from 55 deliveries.
Thank you, and firstly, congratulations to Paddy and the T20 boys. Well done. You guys have played some good cricket all year and proved it out there again today, so well done and enjoy. Eloise and Bruce, thank you for officiating, and thanks to Saka for letting us play out here. It's, you know, once in a lifetime stuff, so really appreciate it. To our guys, keep your head up. We played some really good cricket all year, and today just wasn't our day, so let's keep playing and keep enjoying it, so next time.
Adelaide University, of course, have got plenty still to hang their hat on top of the
again,
great competition, and they'll host the One Day Cup, the West End One Day Cup against Port Adelaide next Sunday.
Pat Page, to say a few words.
Patrick Page, the Gullies captain, gets his medal, and we'll have a few words.
Firstly, commiserations to Adelaide Uni. Put up a good fight, so I reckon I've played 3 games and they've always been interesting and hard fought, so thank you very much. You've got a long year still left in the Red Bull, so good luck to all that. To our players, well done, another good game for us. So we've done pretty well the last 3 games, so thank you. I couldn't do it without you, really. To the umpires, thank you. It's always hard being an umpire, but I thought you did a pretty good job today. Just like to thank our major sponsors, all the club officials, and all our supporters. Thank you for coming out.
And now Pat will introduce his premiership players one at a time to come forward and receive their medallions.
Josh Macy.
So Josh Macy up getting his medal, 2 overs for 15,
Tim
bowled the
Davey.
middle stages. Veteran Tim Davey, not wearing the keeping gloves today, took good catch early in the piece.
Matt Weaver.
Brad Evans there getting his medal. He's got a few of those at home.
Brad Evans.
Matt Weaver, great innings from him today. 46 off 30.
Tim Evans. Adam
Brad
Summerfield.
Evans there. Tim Davey hit the winning runs, number 2.
Jack Holliday.
And Adam Summerfield in at the end, played a good innings, 24 off 19. Jack Holliday coming up shortly, the wicket keeper.
Ben Hutchinson.
Some good work behind the stumps today, Jack.
Sean Noddle.
Ben Hutchison, been an important part of the team this season. Sean Noddle bowled 4 very good overs also
Coach
for
Peter
19.
Sleep.
Also picked up a wicket of Kerber. And Peter
Dylan
Sleep,
Holiday.
the evergreen Gullies coach. He'd be very delighted to pick up another
Kyle Brazel.
trophy. He'll be hoping for the big prize later in the season too in the 2-day comp. These teams could well meet again.
Mike Weaver, team manager. Also, I'd like to say thank Scott Graham for scoring for us.
Okay, and now the only thing left to do is we'll ask Peter Sleep to come up to join Pat Page, and Ian can present the trophy to the coach and the captain. Ladies and gentlemen, T20 Gully, your champions for 2017-18.
So the moment where the Gullies get their hands on the cup for the 6th time in their history, 2020 champions, the coach Peter Sleep, the captain Patrick Page, very delighted. The Gullies in the competition for the first time in 83-84. They've won plenty of silverware since in this form of the game, and a proud day for the club in a very comfortable victory in the end over Adelaide University. So there we go. That's it. Thank you to Ben Hook. Hookie, good to be with you once again.
Laurie, always great to be working with you, true professional, and fantastic. For the first time ever that we have covered live the T20 cricket here for the South Australian Cricket Association. Statewide Super Women's T20 winners, the West Torrens Eagles. Congratulations to those girls. Lauren Epsery played absolutely outstandingly. T3 Gully, the winners of the West End Men's T20 competition. And I think, Laurie, you might be able to confirm for me, but these two sides now go into a National Premier League competition, I think we'll find.
Yeah, terrific concept. We'll hear more about that in the coming weeks. But the Gullies celebrating another victory and go through winning this West End Cup T20 competition. Thanks, Hookie. Well done. We'll catch up with you soon. Bit of Shield cricket left in the summer to cover. And well done to both teams, particularly the Gullies, for another important win in this competition.
Thanks, Laurie. Thanks, everyone.